To evolve.
Crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com.
.com.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How goes it today?
Good. Fiending for some more kickoff times.
Yes. Yeah.
Kickoff times.
Are we getting excited about the big kickoff and the TV release times? As we've been able to get inundated with some already.
I am.
Now, later today, John Bishop's going to tell you that this doesn't matter, and you're going to watch the game whenever.
Oh, why would John say that?
Because he's an old curmudgeon.
No.
I mean,
he's a young, spry lad.
He's not wrong, though.
You're going to watch the game.
This matters.
No, you plan your day. What is this a non-conference game I should get more excited about because it's at night?
Because they're putting it in a certain time slot that now we're starting to think,
Sounds like Nebraska's going to have a lot of night games.
I know.
They're going to have a lot of night games.
Which means
a
lot of cool light shows.
They're playing in a lot of homecoming games if you guys are into homecoming pageantry as well.
Yep.
5 homecoming games this year for Nebraska.
That's a lot of homecoming games.
It is. Imagine all the homecoming kings and queens.
Remember when high schools would typically try to schedule, and even, as a college football team too, you try to schedule your less intimidating opponent for that homecoming, so everybody would have good vibes for the weekend.
That's right. Yeah. I mean,
dare I say, cupcakes.
Nebraska used to never play in homecoming games. Now they play in 4.
Yeah. Now everyone's
5.
like, it's Nebraska. We got a puncher's chance.
I think you want to.
No, it's
you would like to achieve. You'd like to achieve a balance, right? A team that you would enjoy beating, but also that you can beat.
Yeah, and
I think Nebraska falls squarely into that category.
They are one of the rare teams that, I want to beat them so bad because they used to be so good. But now the good news is we can beat them.
The homecoming boys, the homecoming kings.
I look at it as they're trying to gas up their own fan base to buy tickets so that the Nebraska fan base doesn't buy tickets.
But isn't homecoming always you
happen.
could play the most punchless team in the world, but it's homecoming, guys. The pageantry, you got to show up on if any game you go to.
Do players give a rip about homecoming?
No.
No, I don't
in
think
fact,
so.
I bet if you ask them, do you know what your homecoming opponent is? They'd be like, no. I have no clue. Do you care? No.
Is it this week?
What even is what do they do? What is special about homecoming?
The frats get drunk and assault people.
How is that different from normal weeks of the year?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
They have.
You're right.
It is a big Greek thing.
They build the floats.
Yeah, big floats. Yeah. People get crowns,
but they don't float. There's no parade. They don't float. They just sit in their yards. And they're like, and they all just say GBR on them, like it's just they're made out of balloons or something.
Do you think Florida Gulf Coast or any other school that lives near a body of water actually does a float?
I would.
A boat float?
Yes, a real float.
Yeah, like a parade of boats.
We've lost the art of floats in this country. There's
of actual floats.
Yeah, I mean, do you still watch the Rose Bowl parade?
I never did.
The Parade of Roses.
My wife does.
Every
year, I'm like, why are we watching this?
Do you watch the Thanksgiving Day parade?
I don't anymore. Now that is one when I was younger I did because of the incredibly sized balloons and Snoopy. I thought that was cool.
The giant Snoopy.
Yeah, the giant Snoopy.
Josh, put the poll question out there. Have we lost the art of a parade in this country?
I put up, have we lost the art of floats?
Okay, that's fine. That works.
Would you like parades as well?
No, I don't want both.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of funny if we do both. I don't know.
I mean, I think
there's no more parades. Don't matter anymore. Parades used to matter.
Wasn't the float/parade brought back when Tampa Bay won and they had the boat parade and Tom Brady got hammered?
True.
That was a good parade.
That was a really good parade. And that was a real float.
We had a bad parade this past year in Kansas City, if people remember.
Yeah.
Bad parade.
That was
Nick and his friends, not you, Nick, afternoon Nick.
Patriot Supply Nick.
And his friends just had a parade downtown last weekend.
What were they parading about, Josh?
America.
Well, American labor?
Parade of America.
There's always a message that you'd like to send.
It was like the Patriots parade or something like that.
Yeah, and the messages usually here, have some Tootsie Rolls, kid.
Throw out some candy. That was the draw, right? You go to the parade route and you're like, well, I might get some Tootsie Rolls out of this. It's almost like a mini Halloween.
It's really the only time you actually like a Tootsie Roll. because I moved past Tootsie Rolls way early in life. In Halloween,
Most do.
Our boss tries to push them on us
He
quite
does.
frequently.
Yeah, the Tootsie Rolls.
His bowl
and the
is
mints.
full of Tootsie Rolls.
A lot of Tootsie Rolls and a lot of mints. Those mints that have a little orange hint to them are pretty good.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic.
I'm in on those.
But yeah, there is something about getting a Tootsie Roll during a parade that seems to hit better. I
That
can't
sounds like a
explain
cool
it.
question.
Yeah, it's coming. Don't worry.
Does the parade Tootsie Roll just hit better? I think it does.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't hit right on Halloween. That's
No,
for
Halloween,
sure.
you're like, really? Come on. So we used to do this when I was younger. We were, 4 boys, and we were trying to get into shenanigans, and we had a dog, and our dad sometimes would come home from a long day of grinding, and he'd be
drink a couple beers.
yeah,
and-
the American
kid.
working man.
Yeah.
Bust my hump all day. So we would get those, not the real skinny ones, but they were, remember when they used to have the full size Tootsie Rolls
Yeah,
that were,
even worse.
yeah.
It's like 300% worse.
Yes. And you could get them in half of those. So they were still pretty thick. Well, we discovered
Gigantic.
if you would pull them out of it, or
Log
you cut
of
them in half, yeah,
chocolate.
you would twist them. They looked a lot like dog poop.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
of course.
And so we
Of
would
course.
leave them around the house, and we would always try to keep our dog away because obviously eating chocolate for a dog is not good. When our dad would get home, we would put some over, like in his room. We put a few in his shoe.
Damn it!
And yeah,
Kid!
like what? Well, first he's like,
Bleeping kids.
our dog's name was Tramp. What is Tramp doing? Why can't Tramp poop outside? And then
You
he
had a-
realized it
you
was
had
a
a-
Tootsie Roll.
You had a hard-working blue-collar
Yeah.
dad with a dog named Tramp.
Tramp. Yeah, it was
Were you in a
schnauzer.
television show?
we always said our dad reminded us of Kevin Arnold's dad in Wonder Years. We always said that's how he talked like that. Like, bust my hump all day.
Just
We're like, oh my God, that's dad.
just so you kids can put Tootsie Rolls all over the house.
Pretend they're dog poop.
Hey,
My,
This generation has gone to hell.
my dad, who just celebrated his 80th birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday.
Yes. We also, now this wasn't intended to him. This was intended to one of us brothers, but my oldest brother, you guys have had those red, not like red bell peppers, but the red fire peppers that you can usually get in like your Kung Pao chicken.
Oh, yeah. Like
Sure,
the chilies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like a chili?
I think it's a chili.
okay.
I love those.
I shouldn't say we. My brother thought this would be really funny to
You don't
take
eat 'em,
those
though.
little chocolate donuts that you get in the bag, and he put those in various donuts, thinking it'd be really funny. But he didn't
God.
realize my dad would eat these things, and the first person to eat one and
You
get
were in a
chili
TV
was
show.
my dad.
This is a TV show.
Yeah.
Kids are monsters.
You're basically young Sheldon.
His dad died. Spoiler
Whoa.
alert.
His
Whoa.
dad died at the end of the show.
I
Yeah,
heard that.
They
yeah.
killed off the dad of young Sheldon.
I heard that, and I remember the Big Bang Theory that Sheldon's mother is widowed. So that was. I mean,
Okay.
you already kind of knew
It's a
that.
callback.
Yeah.
It's a
But-
callback.
Yeah, I think back on the things that we did to my poor old dad. Sometimes intentional, and other times not.
Yep.
It just sometimes in the wrong place, at the wrong time.
I
guess,
think
as well.
everyone probably looks back on those days with an air of fondness.
And they're fun.
I wish
within
they'd
the
pull a
whole-
prank on me one more time.
Yeah, but now I'm wondering, as I got a very mischievous 3.5-year-old, what will
you're
he
gonna
try
get-
to do to me?
You're gonna get pranked back.
Yeah. Have you, Josh, gotten
You're gonna get some.
gotten the business from the kid?
Nothing that.
Nothing yet.
You guys are gonna get some
No.
chilies in your donuts.
Yeah, I
Watch
hate
out.
putting that out there.
Ooh, I put your shoes on my feet, Dad.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
Not really
I
much
don't
of
know
a
where your
prank.
shoes are, Dad. I got mine on.
Not really much of a prank. And
No.
What do kids do for mischievous ways
don't know.
nowadays? What are they doing? What are they up to?
Um.
Who knows?
Yeah. Ask me in 5 years
Okay.
when he really does become at least to that level,
Yeah.
because a 3.5 mischief it's tolerable.
Sure.
More
Nothing,
than
overcome
nothing
them
too
pretty
bad's
quickly.
gonna happen.
Yeah. They don't know the true chaos that they can create yet.
Don't tell them about it.
Yeah. So they'll find out, especially when they get together with their buddies. There's always one bad seed amongst the group, and then all of a sudden
That's
he
true.
infiltrates.
That's true.
Really
And I'm just hoping my kid's not that bad seed.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just as bad to be around the bad seed.
Oh, yeah.
So it just
because sometimes you take on not only those ideas, but then you put your own spin on it, and then it morphs into something even worse.
My kid came home the other day and said, "Oh, you hit me in the nuts." As Nick takes a drink.
nice.
And
He learned a new word.
he did learn a new word, and
Where'd he pick that one up?
someone from school.
That was my bad.
Someone from school is talking about nuts. Oh man,
Reese's been saying funky butt loving a lot because he watched Rookie of the Year.
Nice.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
So there is some funky butt loving.
Joel's not quite there yet. He says the only prank my 6-month-old pulls is filling her diaper with not Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, sure.
Probably, yeah.
That's a pretty bad prank, though.
That is.
Uh-huh.
I never had. This is great. During the whole diaper stage, never had either the projectile crap across the floor, or I never got whizzed on in the face.
Congrats.
There's a few times I got whizzed on my hand as I was putting the diaper. I'm like, oh, something's warm and wet. Oh, yep, he just went. But you always see those and hear about the horror stories of either the getting pooped on or getting whizzed.
Sounds like you made it out of that period of time.
I think I did.
Unscathed.
Yeah.
He had a little acid reflux thing going on, so he was there was some projectile vomit when he was younger and was more with the milk. That went to my wife, but then when he was doing that with human food, I made up for it. So I did get puked on many a time.
So he got you back.
Yeah, I did.
He got you back.
And that was when it really reeked, when it actually smelled like puke. So that was no good. I don't know about you guys, but if you are around it or you get puked on, you start to feel it yourself a little bit.
Star Wars Fiend writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Star Wars Fiend.
You could have your daughter in Target going down the aisle saying, "Daddy farts his pants butt."
Got him.
I gotta quit taking drinks of coffee when you guys bring this up.
Just saying stuff to whoever would listen. Hey, check it out. Daddy farts his pants butt. That's a good prank. Anyway, I watch the Thanksgiving Day parade still every year.
Yeah, somehow.
Really?
Yeah, I still wake up and I'm like,
Wow.
it's 9:30. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna turn on ABC and watch the Thanksgiving parade.
I do watch it because it is the only thing
It is.
on
Yeah, it's
at
it.
that time.
And it's still on all the networks, right? Like they still carry it.
And then
It's a little slice of
it is
old school. Like we have a big event going on in the country, and so all the major networks are going to be there.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter what channel you flip it on, unless you're watching like
it's a
cable
good
or
time
something
filler.
like
Every now and then they'll throw in a random musical act in the middle of the parade too. So you're like, oh, there's Rick Astley. He's Rick rolling the entire parade. That's cool.
Yeah, so you either watch that and dive full into the aura of Thanksgiving, or you flip it on one of the NFL pregame shows, and they're just talking about turkey the entire time.
Yeah, they're not even talking about the game.
It's a conversation that we've had several times throughout the entire week. I'd rather
Build
just
your perfect plate.
I $5 on the dark meat turkey. Yes, I'll take that one. Like, okay, yeah, we've done that a little bit. I want to watch the Thanksgiving Day parade. See what floats get away from us. See what kind of dances the young dance teams are doing from various places around the country.
Are there any local bands?
Yeah, maybe the latest pop sensation will pop up and be on a float. Maybe Olivia Rodrigo will be there and she'll sing about how mad she is.
That's what I mean. You get the random musical acts and all of a sudden, didn't know that.
Yeah,
Maybe the Millard West Marching Band is there.
Isn't that usually now? Do we ever get the local representation in the Macy's Day Parade as opposed to the Rose Bowl Parade? I thought the Rose Bowl Parade, you get some of the local high schools. Yeah.
I think we've had some representation
in the Macy's Day?
In the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Or Macy's Day.
Macy's Day. I mean, that is kind of how
the Macy's. Yes.
Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Is it not brought to you by like
Dillard's?
Oh no, it's Macy's.
Is it still Macy's? Yeah. It's not brought to you by
Macy's.
Cryptocurrency of some sort.
Well, it could be the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade brought to you by
Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade brought to you by
by Ally.
What was the thing they were pimping for the Big Ten? It was some like stupid AI recognition thing.
Oh, was that during the baseball tournament?
Yes.
Yeah. What
it was like something.io.
Yeah.
And you could take a picture of yourself and it turns you into a different thing.
Yes.
They were talking about that non-stop. It was the presenting sponsor of the Big Ten baseball tournament.
Speaking of which, the Big Ten baseball tournament and the Big Ten in general. Now, we did learn that they're going to continue the same promotion or commercial. It's just going to expand all the way out to the West Coast.
We did learn this?
Yeah, apparently they're going to keep that. Did you guys know what the name of the song is?
No.
I've
never
figured
thought
it.
to care.
Guys, I admit, I Shazammed it.
Really?
Yep.
Just like you Shazam that other version of All Night Long.
I did. That's how we found out it's Aloe Black. You better believe it. So if anybody wants to know what that song is, it's called Silver Lining by Guards.
Silver Lining by Guards. Now, wasn't there a different song when they initially
I thought it was always that
introduced the commercial, or did they change it and then they went back?
Maybe they they did change it. You're right. They changed it and then they went back to it. Yeah, it took a hiatus for a moment. But then it came back.
Only 1 month. 1 month,
Mhm.
and then those schools become official members.
So in Oregon, what will they show in Oregon? Will it just be Autzen Stadium?
It's Autzen Stadium and then a bunch of trees.
A bunch of trees. SC will probably be the Hollywood sign.
Absolutely. SC and UCLA are just pop up right there. And then obviously there's the Rose Bowl, which it already starts at the Rose Bowl.
Washington will be in the fish market.
Washington will definitely be at the fish market.
There'll be the space.
There'll
needle.
be like
the Space Needle will be there too.
There'll be some the Space Needle, good one.
Yeah.
There'll be some boats.
Oh, there
probably
should be. Maybe a parade, maybe a float.
And then the rest of the commercial stays the same. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, and then it just goes.
Who's your source on this? Where'd we get this?
I thought it was confirmed. I thought this was public knowledge.
I didn't see this.
But they're going to stick to it. Yeah. I saw it on Twitter somewhere.
Okay. That's good enough for me.
I would tell you it was Joel Klatt. I can't tell you it was Joel Klatt, but if I said it was Joel Klatt, you'd all believe me.
I would.
I'll just say I think it was Joel
I believe
Klatt.
you anyway.
I believe it was Joel Klatt.
They're speaking of things.
I mean, it's a banger of a commercial, so they got to keep it.
Speaking of things that are on Twitter, did you see the guy who predicted that Nebraska would be in the College World Series?
No.
There's just one guy who did it.
He's my new friend.
His name's Ben. He is, according to his Twitter profile, the co-founder of @11.7, that college baseball Twitter account.
Yeah.
Which I think is a website. Yeah, 11.7.com.
That's a great website.
He said, subject to change, but as of right now, here is my College World Series prediction.
How would it change between now and
it might change, Josh.
Regional start tomorrow.
It might change. East Carolina, Florida State, Mississippi State.
Is there a big injury we're monitoring here?
Dallas Baptist, Kentucky, Georgia, Nebraska, UC Santa Barbara. If Nebraska played UC Santa Barbara in their first game of the College World Series.
Oh, we'd be in trouble because that would be the team that Omaha would adopt.
Yeah. No, we would be in no trouble whatsoever.
The Gauchos.
Be in no trouble. Omaha would quickly quit their Gaucho fandom.
You can pull all your old Gaucho gear out from the last time.
That's right. You get out your Gaucho hats.
Some Gauchos. What is
anybody got any leftover Georgia hats from like 07 or whenever that was?
08.
08.
Yeah, when they lost to Fresno State.
The Gordon Beckham year.
Yeah. Gordon Beckham and what was the reliever who threw like 95 plus Fields? What was his first name?
Josh
Fields.
Josh Fields. East Carolina would be a great draw.
That would be
a little pirate action.
Yeah, the Pirates.
I hope it's their year.
I hope Florida State's back because I just want to talk more baseball with what's his name, with their coach. Now I forgot his name.
Don't say Mike Martin.
No.
Okay, I'm just saying. You do.
He was the Notre Dame coach a couple years.
I have an update for you.
He was.
I don't want to give you this update. But
he was a Notre Dame coach a couple years ago, when they were here. Anyway,
I'm blanking on it. But who is
no Google? It's not Mike Martin.
No, it's not Mike Martin. Link Jarrett.
Oh, okay.
Link Jarrett. That's my guy.
The what would be the adjoining bracket that Nebraska, if they got out of, where would they be playing?
They would be playing the winner of the Clemson bracket.
The Clemson one, okay. So then it could be a former Big Ten coach Eric Bakich if the Clemson wins.
So and if I'm not mistaken,
Whistler.
The College World Series times are dictated by where you come from, right? In the bracket.
Yeah, you can't manipulate, hey, they're going to play on Friday as opposed to Saturday.
And I believe if Nebraska were to get in, if they were one of the 8, because there's 8 possible teams for that slot, it would, according to this, it's the Saturday night game.
Oh
hell yes!
Oh my God, that'd be a party. That would be the best case scenario because you don't want it on the first day. I don't think you do.
You either want the Friday night game is pretty electric though.
It is. Now remember,
You don't. I think the worst spot.
You're right, Connor, because the last time they were in it,
the worst spot is Saturday day. That if initial game, the worst spot is Saturday
or
day.
Friday day.
No, Friday day is good because then you're the opener.
You're the opener, but I still feel like the excitement of starting the College World Series doesn't typically match what you see in the stands. And I get it. It's a weekday afternoon. Obviously, that would change if Nebraska's playing. But I do remember the last time they were in 2005 when they played Arizona State and they got the win. That was the Friday night because that was when they were going Friday.
That was Friday night.
Yep.
Friday. So first game, night game.
They were the first game, night game, and that was
first day, night game. Sorry.
That was pretty awesome.
Yes.
But Saturday night,
and so then they won, and then they would have played Sunday night. That was Florida, right? They lost to Florida in 2005.
Yep.
And then they lost to Arizona State again. That would have been Sunday during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Jeff Larish.
Yep.
Actually, I hate you, Jeff Larish.
That was a wild game.
Yep.
That was also
the Andy Gertch. Andy Gertch,
yes.
Donger.
Yes.
Yep.
If I remember, remember. Do you remember the radio call on that one?
I do. My dad was taking me to I think I was in middle school or something like that. He was taking me to a baseball game. We were driving down.
Exciting moments in the University of Nebraska Intercollegiate Athletics.
That's exactly what it was like. We were driving down the Dodge Expressway.
Not overdo it or anything.
When Andy Gertch hit the home run, everyone around us started just honking their horns and like putting their heads out the window and flying their arms through the air. It was awesome. It was like a true, it was a true moment.
I was always very pro Rob Childress when Mike Anderson got the head coaching job. I thought Rob Childress probably should have. That was always my feeling. I never got into the weeds of ever second guessing a lot of things Mike Anderson did strategically until that game, where all of a sudden he got very classic overthinker. I think at one point they had Curtis Ledbetter up with a man on. They said, "Hey, Led, you've never bunted all year. Let's bunt you." There were some weird things that were happening. I'm like, what? Why? What's he doing? What's he doing here?
Let me pull the box for that game just to have some fun here real quick.
Let's have fun because, we're the day before the possible return to Omaha. No, it's a long shot.
How many players from Nebraska?
You know what else was a long shot? Them winning the Big Ten championship.
That is true,
especially
Josh.
after losing 15-2 in that first game.
See, look at you. Bringing me back down to what is real.
How many players from Nebraska's starting lineup do you think you can name off from that day?
In the Arizona State game?
June 21, 2005.
Yeah. So Gordo, Ledbetter, Gertch,
yes. Well, actually, wow, is this right? Curtis Ledbetter didn't start that game.
Yeah,
so,
I think he. Yeah,
so
I think he came in.
Brandon Buckman started, and Ledbetter came in at some point early in the game. He ended up getting 4 at
Who was the shortstop?
Joe Simikaitis.
That was some. Okay, I always trying to remember if Simikaitis was on that team or the
01-02s.
Yes.
So Gertch, Bruce, Ryan Worley, Jeff Christie was behind the plate, Jesse Boyer in left.
Yeah,
Gertch and right. Brian Bohannon.
Did Worley DH that game?
Ryan Worley played second base, and then he was lifted for Jake Opitz.
Ah, yes.
Later on,
Jake Opitz.
Starting pitcher Zach Kroenke, and
Omaha Northwest Zach Kroenke.
And then you got Brett Jensen and Tony Watson.
They had a staff between Kroenke, Dorn, and Jabba. For 1, 2, 3, those guys were all
pretty good.
Legit. All legit.
Pretty good. Bunch of dudes. Let's check the Arizona State. So Larish led off.
Punk.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember that guy.
Who pitched for Arizona State?
Arizona State starting pitcher was Jason Urquidez.
Okay.
Remember that guy?
No,
I don't either.
Not really.
Let's see if we can go back to the first.
I always love
So the first Arizona State game that year. Oh, it was also Jason Urquidez, but he only threw 2 innings. Jabba Chamberlain. Zach Kroenke came on in relief, and then Brett Jensen. And we did not care about how many pitches dudes were throwing in 05. It was awesome.
Hell no.
Those were the days. The Florida game.
Do you want to know where Brett Jensen resurfaced? Not that long ago.
Where?
In a co-ed slow pitch softball game against yours truly's team, and he hit a line drive off my buddy's butt.
Oh.
And we thought he killed him.
What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got Brett Jensen on.
Brett Jensen was on that team.
What?
That's a ringer.
Where at?
You know who else?
People want to show up.
You mentioned another guy who was on that team. Brandon Buckman was.
Brandon Buckman and Brett Jensen are playing slow pitch softball together.
This was.
Is that why our boss can't get a hit?
This was Omaha. I don't know how they're doing it out in Lincoln, but yeah, that was on co-ed, and I'm like, that guy looks really familiar. I recognized Jensen, and then when we looked at we saw their roster. That's Brandon Buckman.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
These guys was
he playing first base?
I believe he was. Yes.
Hell yeah, he was.
And I don't know if it's cliche or not, but I think Jensen was actually pitching. No,
that's crazy.
Actually, I think he was playing outfield.
I think he was used to the arm angle on it. I guess.
Yeah, but he hit a piss missile right back at my buddy who was pitching, and if he didn't turn the way he did, he might have been paralyzed from the waist down.
And geez,
it was forceful.
In the Florida game in 2005, Nebraska was down. Let's see here, 4-5. They were down 7-2 going into the bottom of the fifth. And
this is the Florida game, or
this is the Florida game, and they were starting to get something working, and then they brought in Darren O'Day. Okay. To pitch the final 4 1/3. He only gave up 2 hits.
But he just shoved.
Yep. Got shut down by Darren O'Day. Anybody in the Florida lineup from that year? Let's see.
They had
Matt Laporta.
Yeah, that's right. Laporta. I knew there was one that there was a couple names in there. Laporta, and then maybe they had another pitcher that was legit.
Well, you would think that they would throw that. So let me check Florida's first game this year. This is great. I'm having a lot of fun, by the way.
It's very apropos because everybody kept wanting to go to the Nebraska-Florida Fiesta Bowl national championship game. You know, there's actually baseball history between these two teams.
This would have been the last time they played, though.
Yeah,
so Florida in their first game that year, they played Tennessee and they beat them. They beat Luke Hochevar.
Oh yeah,
who ended up being the number 1 overall pick, I believe, later that year. Didn't quite pan out.
Not the way Roy.
That was it. Yeah, until he ended up being an important piece of the bullpen in 2015-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's fun.
Yeah,
there is history.
That's a lot of fun. Texas and Florida was the final that year. Texas ended up winning.
Who was that Texas team? Was that?
Let's see. I'm glad you asked, Nick.
Was that a little Houston Street? Did we have a Houston Street? Was that an 05?
He didn't pitch in the final.
But was he on the squad? Was Jay Brent Cox? Because Jay Brent Cox was good.
Gosh, I don't. The only guy that I well, there's a couple guys in Texas's lineup that ring a bell here. Drew Stubbs.
Okay, yep. I think that's the same team. I thought Houston Street was on that team.
Here's a name for you that I hadn't thought about in a long time. That was a great college baseball player.
Guys naming dudes.
Taylor Teagarden.
Yeah, Taylor Teagarden, the catcher. Yeah, Taylor. I can always remember Mike Patrick saying his name. Taylor Teagarden. Yeah, Taylor Teagarden. He was a badass offensive catcher.
Oregon State that year had Jacoby Ellsbury and Darwin Barney.
Oh wow,
and Mitch Canham.
So Houston Street was not on the 05 team.
Let me hold on.
Okay,
let me pull them real quick.
Because every time I think of Texas in the College World Series at Rosenblatt, I think of one guy that I thought would go on to pitching greatness.
He did not pitch in the 05 College World Series.
Okay.
No, so he must not have been.
So that also probably eliminates that Jay Brent Cox was not on that team. That guy, for whatever reason, I got to watch behind the backstop, and I'm watching his slider. I thought was the most devastating thing I've ever seen.
Jay Brent Cox was on that team.
He was on that team? Okay.
Yes.
God, he was filthy.
He was nasty.
And then he didn't go on to do anything.
That's college baseball, baby.
Yep, probably got overused.
You never know who the heroes are going to be.
That's why we dig into it. That's why we love our little boys of summer at downtown Omaha.
Tulane with Brian Bogasevich was there. Micah Owings. They had some guys on that team. Tulane was in the 05 World Series and the 01 World Series, right? Because Nebraska played Tulane.
Yes.
In first game in 01, right?
No, was the first game in 01? Yeah, you're right. Because Cal State Fullerton was the previous year, right? Or was it Clemson?
Oh,
I think it was Clemson.
I'm glad you're asking these
questions.
It's
either Cal State or Clemson, because I remember Khalil Green being in.
So Nebraska.
Was it Cal State?
Nebraska started with Cal State Fullerton
right.
in 01.
That's right.
But they ended up losing to Tulane.
Okay.
Getting eliminated in 01. Man, Cal State Fullerton, we got to get those guys back going.
I know.
What's up with that?
Used to have a run.
Then we can get Costner back.
You're damn right.
He's got a movie to promote.
Well, yeah.
Multiple movies to promote.
Don't you think by now Costner should just come back?
How many?
Whoa. You all right over there?
How many? So I was going into this with a thought.
Oh, you're gonna hurl.
I was
Both of you have done a spit take.
Yeah, spit takes.
So I was trying to remember, like I was just putting together a guess in my head. Why don't you guys do the same thought exercise?
Okay.
How many pitches do you think Shane Komine threw in game one for Nebraska in the 2001 World Series?
134.
125.
You guys are both low.
Oh, God.
138.
Holy hell.
Good guess, though, Nick.
Jesus.
138 pitches for Shane Komine.
Hey,
They were going to ride or die with Shane Komine.
just a modest day at the office.
That is
Imagine
awesome.
the
How many
discourse.
innings?
Oh, my
did he go?
God.
How many innings did he
He
go?
went 8.
Okay.
Nobody else pitched.
Okay. Good God. Wow.
Because there wasn't a bottom of the night
Oh my Lord.
against Cal State Fullerton.
Jesus.
Jeez. So who would have pitched in game 2 of 01? R.D. Spees.
Oh, okay. There you go.
R.D.
Pride of Grand Island.
Justin Pekarik, Tom Ott, Brandon Penis.
What?
Penas?
I believe it's penis.
I don't remember that guy.
Brandon
You
Penis.
can't go in public if you have that name.
Steve Hale. I don't remember any of these guys. Waylon
Throw the hard
Byers.
stuff.
What year is this? They had a guy named Waylon in 01?
We're not really making Whalens anymore.
No,
are
there
we?
wasn't a whole lot of Waylons walking around.
Brandon Iman was on that team, right? He had been second base or
you was
shortstop.
teammates with Brandon Penis. Sorry, Brandon. I don't know. You're still out there somewhere. John Cole, Adam Stern, Matt Hopper, Dan Johnson, Jeff Blevins.
I literally just got an email from Nebraska Baseballs. He said that, but it has.
Oh no! What does it say?
It does. This is something
Late
about.
scratch.
It's something about Stillwater regional tickets.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
don't
God.
worry. It was very funny as you were saying that. All of a sudden,
My parents got tickets. They're on their way down. They
Nice.
jumped right on there at 10 o'clock
Are they on
yesterday.
81?
And I think they were gonna go out to York and
Yeah.
straight down because that is the preferred
Mhm.
travel method.
Obviously.
you'll see the hot air balloon colored water tower. Then you'll just head south. Maybe stop at the Taco John's while you're there.
In Salina, Kansas.
6-pack and a pound.
6-pack and a pound. Yep, 6-pack and a pound. If they would have went on Tuesday, they could have enjoyed Taco Tuesday.
I have enjoyed this deep dive into Nebraska history. We didn't get to the 02 College World
Oh,
Series.
we'll do that tomorrow.
Maybe that'll be tomorrow.
Sure.
Right. On the day.
That's
we gotta
certainly
do it.
the forgotten about College World
It is.
Series.
It really is.
Nebraska lost to Clemson and South Carolina
Yes.
that year.
That
So-
was a Clemson.
So Nebraska's first 4 games in the College World Series, they lost in their College World Series history, 01 and 02. They lost by a grand total of 5 runs.
I know. Oh, gosh, does that sound familiar? It's like football lately.
Oh,
How many points? How many one possession games?
but man, they were scoring some runs in 02. Ping!
Yep.
Ping! It was pinging out everywhere. They lost 11-10 and 10-8 that year. So who would have started? Okay, it would have still been Komine. How much? Just for the fun of it, how much? How many pitches do you think Shane Komine threw in the opening game of the College World Series in 2002?
I bet it was a little bit more of a modest 118.
111.
Another great guess from Nick Hanley. 121.
Okay.
Wow.
He only pitched 5 1/3, and he threw 121 pitches. He walked 8 and
Come on, buddy.
struck out 7.
Walked 8 and struck out 7?
Yes,
Talk about ride or die. You're right.
that was your guy.
Limit the damage.
Yeah, indeed.
There's
That was
Bobby Witt.
your guy. It had to be your guy.
Now, if I just want you to plan this accordingly.
Waylon
Not,
also
not
pitched
even
in
a
that
quality
game,
start.
by the
You
way.
go over 118
If you're going to do the
or
2000
121.
the breakdown tomorrow, just be aware that EA Sports is releasing an in-depth look at the video game at 9:55 tomorrow morning.
Okay.
That's your crossover tomorrow.
All right. We'll get into that.
I don't know if you can do both.
Yeah, we could do both because then we could wax poetically when they used to have the college baseball game too.
I
You
do.
know,
EA
back in
Sports.
02,
That was
when
a
they
lot
had
of
the
fun.
college
That was a
football
lot of
video.
fun.
Well, I want to leave you with a little bit of news before we get out of here. This will set the table for our show today.
All right.
This is from Matt Fortuna.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to say Matt Forte.
What does he do now? founder of Inside the Zone, college football's newest online community. He is an online guy.
He is.
College football's most played rivalry, which is also known as Paul Bunyan's ass, a.k.a. Paul Bunyan's axe, Wisconsin and Minnesota, will be moved to Black Friday.
Oh!
So that will be the lead-in for NFL Black Friday, which is Chiefs Raiders. That'll be 11 o'clock on CBS, thus displacing the Heroes Trophy game, according to Matt Fortuna. Get ready. Nebraska, Iowa, 6:30 NBC.
Nebraska, Iowa, 6:30?
Bing, bing, bing.
Hope you get your shopping done early.
Getting night games on Black
We
Friday?
got night games all over the place.
This is amazing.
Got night games.
I love this. God, I hope there's no hockey game tonight. At least a home game. Wow.
Yeah, there's going to be some scheduling conflicts.
That is pretty awesome. I'm kind of excited about that, actually.
All right, that'll set the table. Nick, thank you. This has been
boys.
fun. That is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Thursday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The bottom line is, for 6 months of YouTube TV, 5 of Prime Video, 1 month each of Peacock, ESPN Plus, and Netflix, comes to a grand total of $506.86. And then if you want to add the Sunday ticket, you're looking at $855 if you want access to every single NFL game played this season.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Impact weather for your Thursday, mainly dry in the morning with increasing cloud cover. Chances go up for scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening. A couple could be on the stronger side, otherwise breezy with highs around 80. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
No better time than now to focus on your garden or landscape. Come shop Lanaha's Garden Center, filled with the area's best quality plants, flowers, and trees. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanaha Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball, proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
The Storm Chasers are on the road and take on Indianapolis tonight. First pitch is scheduled for 5:35. You can hear all the action on your home for the Storm Chasers 1290 Coil.
Hey, you hear that? That's the sound of loose change in your pocket reminding you to buy a 99-cent medium pound drink from Casey's. So the next time you hear this, you already know where to go. 99-cent medium fountain drinks. It's not crazy. It's Casey's.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote 1-800-670-5151. That's 1-800-670-5151. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-670-5151. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream. Now that we got through the spring and we're in the summer, what's better for summer than ice cream? I always say, get yourself a bucket load. Now I know they don't sell it by the buckets at Ted and Wally's, but they do sell it by the pint. They do sell it by the half gallon. All you got to do is call ahead to get yours reserved today. And so many flavors. Go on social media, whether it's Facebook or on Twitter, and they have a list of the day's ice creams for both locations. That's in the old market, of course, and in Benson. Swing by there, get yourself some great ice cream this summer, and tell them Severe sent you.
Let's go on a fishing trip you will be talking about for years. The best walleye fishing trip ever. Join me, Crash Davis. We're going to travel to the walleye capital of the world, September 15th through the 19th aboard a deluxe motor coach. Travel with me to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Pricing includes round-trip motor coach transportation, 4 nights lodging, 3 days of fully guided walleye fishing, and all of our meals. Go fishing with me, Crash. Your best trip ever. Sign up at ballardsresort.com. ballardsresort.com and set the hook.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome in. Happy Thursday. It's the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. Happy, basically all the schedule kickoff time day. Today,
yeah, we're learning a whole bunch of stuff.
We are going to learn. We might potentially know about 80% of when.
Oh, really?
Nebraska's game times will be this year by the end of today, because of all the homecoming games, and usually those kind of stray toward nighttime. There's a West Coast factor that's in there too this year,
People
and then we already got a few prime times. Nebraska Colorado is going to be prime time, nighttime on NBC, and now reportedly this will all be officially released within the next couple hours by the end of the show today. But reportedly, Nebraska and Iowa on Black Friday is set for nighty night time, 6:30. You show up to the stadium in the dark. You leave the stadium, it's dark.
How many Big Red overreactions am I going to have to do because
we are going to have some scheduling conflicts?
None
Josh.
of you children can stay awake.
That's not why.
Past 10:30.
That's not
Josh
why.
Peterson cannot stay awake until at the end of these Husker games.
That's true. That is true.
Nor does he want to.
He has a plan, and he likes to stick to the plan.
And
the plan includes going to bed at 10.
And he'll probably live to 90, and I'll die at 55. And he'll say,
he runs too much.
Gotcha.
He runs too much.
Yeah.
His knees aren't going to work anymore.
That's
Remember?
true.
All right. Welcome to the show. And we'll have many things to come today, including we'll chat about the game times and how you guys feel about a nighttime Black Friday kickoff.
Right, we like night games, right? Like, this is good, right?
I've always liked night games.
Yeah.
I've always liked night games.
It means you matter to a certain extent, right?
I thought the way the wind was blowing on all of this is usually I don't like to play at 11 o'clock in the morning. Nebraska won't play a whole lot at 11 o'clock in the morning this year from what it seems like. We'll get, they'll release the first 3 weeks today. So we'll get UTEP, Northern Iowa. We already have Colorado. And then we're going to get Iowa today. So a couple other primetime games. And then we'll see what else happens. But we could know a good swath of Nebraska's game times today.
And then help me out with the verbiage here. A tweet from Scott Docterman.
Oh,
when
the doctor is in.
When the early and specialty Big Ten schedules are announced today, what does he mean by specialty?
That's just Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Yeah.
Why not just say Black Friday? Was he out of character?
Maybe he was out of characters. When the early and specialty Big Ten schedules are announced at 1:30, look for some in-depth and intriguing insights on how it got put together, why the choices, very interesting, were made for Friday, Black Friday. Oh, so what he means by specialty is Friday and Black Friday.
Oh, okay. The Friday Fox slate, which we know a lot of.
Correct.
Maybe at FS1.
Maybe some more games. So there's a lot of
a game or two.
I don't know if you heard. There's a lot of inventory. There's a lot of games in the Big Ten this year because
more than ever.
There are four more. There are four more teams in it this year. So we'll have plenty of reaction to that, and we'll talk about it as we go on throughout the show today. College basketball got a nice little bump yesterday with everybody coming back to school. Trey Alexander not included in everybody though.
Exception that proves the rule.
That's right. I did some spread cheating last night.
Oh,
based on something that our good friend Mitch Sherman said yesterday on the show. So we'll dive into that. We'll take a deeper dive into John Cook's contract.
This thing's wild, baby.
A little conversation about Nebraska baseball. We'll run through some scenarios. What would make you happy? What would make you sad? What would make you feel okay? We'll check in on America's favorite baseball team, the New York Mets. Something ridiculous seems to happen to that team every single year. And this year is no exception, given last night. And, we got Baby Gronk. We got Baby Gronk.
Do we have to do this?
No.
Do we have to take this seriously?
No. Just to be very clear, we are not taking this seriously at all. He's not.
What's going on here?
I'm just saying he's going through his tour. He's committing and decommitting different places and, trying to get some retweets and stuff, trying to get some clicks.
That kid's going to wear literally every jersey that exists.
Definitely. He's been offered by nowhere. And he won't be. But yeah, he's currently committed to Nebraska. So I think that Nebraska's probably back.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if he wants the clout of Nebraska football, then that must mean Nebraska's back.
That's what I'm saying. He just wants to get in on a little bit of those sweet clicks. He picked the right fan base. But
then
sure.
Dan Lanning's going to yell at us because we play for
clicks. Jacob Padilla is going to join us in just a few minutes. That's the lineup, powered by the Rooferees of John Higgins Weather Guard. Want to hear from you guys, 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor or Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox. We say good morning to our YouTube crowd this morning. Hello, everybody. Star Wars Fiend says you guys should get Frank the Tank on to talk about Mets baseball. Connor and Frank talk Mets ball. Want to talk some Mets with Mr. Frank? He's very angry.
He's very angry.
Very angry. We could talk about it.
Often says bad words.
A lot of bad. It would have to be, maybe it would be a 1620 the email exclusive or something like that.
Pre-tape with Frank the Tank.
We would have to kind of bleep him. We could also talk about the time that he heckled Greg McDermott in Newark.
Oh, that's right.
This past year.
There is an in with Frank the Tank now.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Sounds like a good idea. Thank you, Star Wars Fiend. We appreciate it. We're looking for stuff to do in the summer. So we are off and running. Like I said, Jacob Padilla will join us in just a few minutes. We'll talk about the effect that really NIL has had on college basketball, as many of its star players are coming back to college hoops next year. What does that mean for Creighton, who did not get a guy back? Well, they got one. They didn't get the other. And now their schedule is incredibly loaded. Incredibly loaded. They might play 3 out of the top 5 teams in the country preseason next year.
Hell yeah.
2 of them are out of conference. All right. Here we go on a Thursday. It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, a reminder from our friends from the FanDuel Sportsbook that we are headed down the barrel of the NBA Finals, but it is not too late to get in on the action with the FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. So that's $150 you could use on things like same-game parlays. I'm looking at a same-game parlay that FanDuel has cooked up for people right now on their homepage. How do you feel about Mavs money line, Kyrie to score 20, PJ Washington to make 2 or more threes, and Karl Anthony Towns to make 2 or more threes, plus 505 right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook. There's plenty more options for you as well. Whichever way you want to play it, remember, $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. No better place to get in on all the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. Head to FanDuel.com/Happer and get your butt in gear. Get started. That's with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online and remote wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus is just issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, a quick couple minutes here before we talk to Jacob about some hoops and more. Hoops and things. Amy just lays this out pretty well. So 7 days in November, they'll make a documentary about this one day. 7 days in November. Here's what you got, Husker fan.
Oh.
Friday night, November 22, Nebraska-Creighton basketball in Omaha. Welcome to the Big East. Saturday, November 23, Nebraska-Wisconsin football. The 28th, of course, the next week on the Thursday is Thanksgiving, and then the 29th is Nebraska football and Iowa football at nighttime. Sleepy sleep. Also, people have already started to complain about how cold it is.
Really, people?
It's too cold.
Really?
It's too cold. By the time the game ends on Black Friday, like Nebraska usually starts those games at 2:30. By the time a game ends, not always, but by the time the game ends, it's dark. It's okay. Like, we could do this. Also, we've had remarkably good weather on Black Fridays recently. We could get yeah. I mean, we can go ahead and get that random 65-degree day in November, just like we seem to have been on the track of in the last couple of years. I wouldn't worry about it yet. That's my only piece of advice to you guys. Don't worry about it quite yet.
I complain a lot. You don't have to complain about this. Not yet.
Also, think about this. For the people who are traveling to Iowa City, you no longer have to make a decision on whether to drive to Iowa City on Thanksgiving night.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
Or get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make an 11 o'clock game, or 3 o'clock in the morning to make an 11 o'clock game out in Iowa City. You have all day Friday to slowly get your butt across the state.
Mm-hmm.
And then you either stay in IC on Friday night, or you head back home and drive through the night. Like, it's easy. The decisions are already made for you.
It's very reminiscent of Big 8 games where little down and back, or down, stay in a hotel for the night and drive back the next morning.
Now, here's the other thing to watch out for during that 7-day stretch. Let me add one.
Oh,
we haven't got any sort of official confirmation on any volleyball games that week, but that is smack dab in the middle of that.
Would imagine there'd be some.
What happens when the Big Ten Network wants to get in on that sweet Nebraska-Wisconsin volleyball ratings and say, hey, look, volleyball is great. People watch volleyball on the BTN. And then they throw Nebraska-Wisconsin on Tuesday of that week or something like that.
They can't just stick it after the Nebraska football game anymore.
Not anymore. and they're not going to put it during the day on Black Friday or anything like that. They're and maybe they could put it that weekend after.
That
so like
Saturday night,
the Saturday or Sunday, depending on what time the Nebraska-Wisconsin football game is. But I wouldn't be surprised if you get a little volleyball action that gets tossed in there as well. What else can we do in that 7-day stretch? Why don't we just blow the whole thing out? Could be fun.
Again, as many people will remind us between now and Thanksgiving, the Chiefs play somewhere in there as well.
The Chiefs play on Black Friday.
Yeah.
The Chiefs play the Raiders on Black Friday.
Many would say that that's the appetizer to Nebraska football.
Yes.
That day.
And the appetizer to the appetizer is Paul Bunyan's ass. Another
little appetizer.
Yeah, just a little bit. If you're a true sicko, you like that Wisconsin and Minnesota play on Black Friday and they hate each other, and it'll be snowing, and that game will take place at 11 o'clock in the morning. Then you'll watch the Chiefs and the Raiders, and then you can gear up and watch Nebraska and Iowa. During the night time. It's a nice day. You got it planned out already.
Yeah, I do love a rivalry built around hate during such a weekend of togetherness like Thanksgiving. I love that.
Yeah,
that juxtaposition.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in this state have relatives or know people that'll be in your house during Thanksgiving who might wear the black and yellow.
Wearing the wrong colors, boy.
Yeah, and they all come together at 2:30 in the afternoon to root for the Chiefs, and then they push each other in the chest. So they say, "All right, go change your shirts now. We're going to yell at each other for 4 hours starting at 6:30."
People downstairs, Nebraska people upstairs.
It'd be fun. Sounds like a fun Thanksgiving to me. One quick thing before we get, speaking of volleyball, before we get to Jacob Padilla coming up in just a second. So we said yesterday that John Cook got an extension, right? And we were kind of like surprised, like, oh, man, I thought he was on kind of the road out of here. Whatever.
And I thought we'd do this maybe like year by year at this point.
So if we didn't get into the details of it, but here's a specific one. He'll get a $75,000 a year increase in salary. That's the raise. But additionally, he'll get a quote unquote retention bonus in a month. Now, why would you get a retention bonus in a month, Josh? It's kind of nonsensical, right? It doesn't really make any sense.
It's a signing bonus.
You'd put a retention, kind of in a sense. It's kind of a retention. You normally do a retention bonus in like 3 years. Like if you're still here, we'll pay you that much, whatever. Throw that into the contract. No, John Cook's is in a month. Is he leaving? Is there thought of him leaving? No. Here's a quote from John Cook. When Troy and I talked about my contract, I proposed that instead of an annual escalating salary that some coaches do, it would mean a great deal to me if the Nebraska Athletic Department would consider supporting me in purchasing a horse.
Hell yeah. This guy's different, man.
A horse out in central Nebraska that I've had my eye on. The horse.
I've had my eye on.
Specifically, the horse is named number 415. It was born and bred at the famous Pizza Ranch in Erickson and is a once-in-a-lifetime performance horse. He was purchased as a weanling by Mark Ray and then trained by the Ray family. Mr. Yogurt loved the idea, and while they couldn't specifically write that into the contract, the retention bonus will be used to buy the horse. I am honored that Troy was so supportive of my idea, and it means a lot to me. Ladies and gentlemen, John Cook.
I have a question. I don't think this is what is happening, but I think this might be what's happening. Are people just asking Mr. Yogurt for stuff because he's new and might be an idiot?
I think Mr. Yogurt has publicly declared that he is going to be a friend of the coaches.
Yeah. What do you want?
What do you need?
I want a horse.
I'm trying to learn about how things go around here. I'm trying to figure out where the power lies. And they have said, okay, I have some things that I'm interested in. And for John Cook, it's not about money. It's not about the things that would keep him here he's already going to stay here. So how do you keep that man happy? You help him buy a horse. That's what he really cares about. And so Mr. Yogurt said, say no more. Let's write it into your contract and let's have you do a quote about it in the press release. So when we look back on this years later, remember when he signed that extension back in 2024? Yes, there's going to be that big long quote about the horse.
Every Big Ten volleyball broadcast is going to have a graphic with that quote and a picture of John Cook and a horse. It's going to be 3 to 5 minutes of every volleyball broadcast on BTN this year. Okay.
So good. So good.
It's not even the most interesting contract detail.
Oh, you have more.
That thing about the NCAA or other entity.
We can get that. We can get that a little bit later.
Yeah.
I thought the horse part was actually the more interesting.
Well,
one.
it's more interesting. It's funnier. It's more relevant to this show. But
definitely. All right. So more on John Cook's contract a little bit later on, because like Josh said, there's another detail that is wrapped up in there. But coming up next, we'll talk to Jacob Padilla. Before we do that, we have a tweet from Matt DeMarinis. Remember Matt DeMarinis.
Couldn't forget, of course. Hi, Matt.
He says, I'm only tuning in if Jacob is asked to weigh in on Baby Gronk. I can tell you definitively that we will ask the question, but it is not up to me whether he answers or not. Maybe there's just 10 seconds of silence afterwards and we're in a stare off. Who knows? Find out next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Summer is here, Father's Day is around the corner, and there is no better place to get dad outfitted than Lindley Clothing. Or yourself. Guys, Lindley Clothing has been outfitting us men for over 88 years. And now with summer here, shorts, polos, short sleeve shirts, golf attire, they've got it all at Lindley Clothing. They're a staple in Omaha. They could be a staple in your wardrobe with the top-notch brands from Jack Victor all the way to Peter Millar. Sportswear to tailored clothing, Lindley Clothing has you covered top to bottom. Shop now at their location, 132nd and West Dodge in the Linden Market. It's Lindley Clothing.
I'm Dave Osted. And I'm Ryan Osted. I think my first memory of golf is playing with my dad at a par 3 course. It was an absolute blast, and he always would have an ice cream hole. So if I got an 8 or less, we'd be going for ice cream. My first memory of golf really focused on driving the golf cart. Being able to drive that cart. You were a crazy driver. I was a crazy driver, but it was what I look forward to. And what's really funny now, when I take my kids out play golf, that is the one thing, along with the snack bar, that they are most excited about. Focus on the good stuff. Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Hop into the driver's seat of a new Ford truck or SUV now at Baxter Ford. Choose from hundreds of new Ford F-150s, F-150 Lightnings, F-250s, and F-350s. Baxter Ford has over 250 new SUV models available, including Bronco, Bronco Sport, Escape, Edge, Explorer, Expedition, and more. Plus, all our vehicles come with fair, transparent pricing and no dealer fees. So you only pay for the vehicle, not the paperwork. Get started at BaxterFord.com.
Oh, Ghost of George Washington here. Being the face of the dollar bill used to mean something, but today I just don't get any respect. But that's all changed with Lotto America from the Nebraska Lottery. People know that Lotto America only costs $1 to play, has a $2 million starting jackpot, and drawings 3 nights a week. I'm back, baby.
Calm down, George.
Hey, nobody asked you, Ghost of Andrew Jackson.
Lotto America top prize odds, 1 in 26 million.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
And now, the only cure for our basketball Jones. Hail Varsity's Jacob Padilla on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Baby. We're joined now on the 42 Degrees of Sorts hotline by Jacob Padilla of Herd Sports. Jacob, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Connor. I'm doing all right.
Good. What do you think about Baby Gronk committing to Nebraska? Damn it, I had to budge. Because I don't want any buzzer. Sometimes when there's enough dead air, like there'll be an alarm that goes off in our office. I didn't want anybody to panic, so I'm sorry. You won. You won the stare off.
Yeah, not my radio show. I don't have anything to lose.
I know. Yeah, you would have just sat there all day. Like the dudes, you probably don't know about this, but sometimes in baseball, after they get done doing the national anthem, there will be a couple guys on each side who just stand there and they see how long each person can stand there, and before they both get kicked out and put into their own dugouts and stuff like that. That was like you and I. You won though. Congratulations.
Always good to start the day with the victory.
Yeah, it's nice. Hey, so college basketball had a big day yesterday. This is, I guess, just annually now. It seems like a big day for college basketball, where the deadline to withdraw from the draft is kind of upon us here, and college basketball got some big stars back. A lot of those big stars will appear on Creighton's schedule next year on Creighton's scouting reports. Just, I guess, first of all, big picture. How good is it for the sport that guys like Mark Sears and Caleb Love and Hunter Salas and Alex Caravan and Ryan Kalkbrenner will actually be happy to return to school rather than start their careers and the kind of, I guess, wilderness that comes after college.
Well, that was part of the idea of when the NCAA. I mean, they were forced to, but finally budged on the NIL thing, was an incentive to keep stars in college basketball a little bit longer. I mean, every year there are guys that are great college players that aren't surefire lottery picks or first round guys. And in recent years, a lot of those guys start going pro anyway, just to start their professional career. They're done with school. They didn't really have enough of a reason to stick around. And some of these guys have certainly received a significant reason to stick around. And John L. Davis going to Arkansas is another one that was thinking pro and then was pursued back to college by an NIL deal down there in Arkansas. So, it's people hate a lot of what college basketball has become, but this is the upside. And you mentioned all those guys that you said, they're all going back to their school. Those aren't guys that entered the portal and declared for the draft and came back and now are looking for new schools. A lot of those stars are going back to their teams, and they're all going to be top 25 teams and have a chance to really kind of be the faces of college basketball next season. So in that aspect, it's really good for the game. It's kind of a shift back to not necessarily what it was when everybody stayed 4 years, but closer to that than what we had a handful of years ago when you had all these guys leaving with eligibility still available to them.
Yeah, I mean, just for Creighton fan, like I think of Tyshawn Alexander, I think of Marcus Zagorowski right before basically these new rules go into place, and I kind of think about what if those guys come back another year. Obviously, it affects what happens, in years after that. But you think about 1 year stretches that Creighton could have, really benefited from having a guy who was on the fringe of being an NBA draft pick that came back to school one more year. I mean, it would have made a gigantic difference.
Well, I mean, we saw what Baylor Shireman coming back did to the program this year.
Yeah.
It's an example of what it possibly could have been in some of those other years. So yeah, it's huge for the game. And it's kind of wild, some of the figures that I've heard thrown out for some of these guys. Like, I'll just say Hunter Salas was very much set on going pro, from what I've heard, and was convinced not to. So I don't know how Wake Forest has the war chest that they do, but great for him and his family.
Speaking of getting bags, one of the guys that is coming back to school but not going back to his original school would be Coleman Hawkins. So that he's got some specific things that he wants, it sounds like. So the suitors are sort of limited, but he's definitely, it sounds like, going to be attacking some places or looking into some places that might have some leftover money in the war chest. That guy's going to get a lot of money in the transfer portal.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it works in any kind of recruiting, whether it's transfer or even like some high school guys, like those guys that are left over at the end after the surge, when everybody goes through kind of the first wave, those guys, it's a gamble to not like find your place early on, because the options are limited at a certain point, but also some of those teams get desperate and when they didn't get what they need and there aren't very many options left. So you see guys that maybe, like in the previous recruiting, you see guys that didn't really have much going on suddenly get a handful of like high major offers, like Luke Werr from Tapio South is an example of that, where kind of at the tail end of his recruitment, just blew up with a ton of offers and ended up at Oregon. Ended up transferring to Grand Canyon to finish his career. But that's just kind of an example of that, where it's the supply and demand. And so now Hawkins coming back is instantly one of the top guys available. And teams that have money left available to them and need a versatile big man, he's obviously going to be the first call. And we'll see. Arthur Kaluma is another one.
I was going to say, yeah. What do you think the market might be like for Kaluma?
I have no idea. He's kind of a tough one to figure out, because at this point, it doesn't seem like the upside is there. Like, he is what he is. I don't think anybody's waiting at this point for it to suddenly like click in and for him to be the guy that we thought maybe after his freshman year at Creighton. He's gotten slightly better, I guess, each year, but hasn't really kind of made the major leap that, and that's why like he went to the combine and again didn't necessarily have a great week. The draft prep, whatever, he didn't necessarily do what he needed to be able to stay in the draft. So yeah, I have no idea what he's going to be looking for. Obviously, third school in 3 years. Those are some of the ones that like you just kind of wonder about, but it's like, well, I guess just like you said, trying to play the NIL market. Like, yeah, you found a place that you had a pretty good year, but I don't know if you're thinking like, oh, it didn't because he isn't a surefire draft pick. Like, oh, is it thinking their fault? Kind of like Creighton, like he wasn't able to develop the way he needed to there. Like, I don't know what these guys think when they go into the portal 3 different years.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. Maybe just make a better choice the first time. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it would be that fun to starting a new program year after year. But it's his life and his decision to make.
At the same time, I mean, there's like we said, supply and demand. There's going to be teams out there who would love to have a plug and play type of guy. Is it advantageous to you? I think that's the argument that you're making. Probably not. But could you get some money out of it for sure? And then for a program that needs to fill a spot, I mean, I don't like the initial stance. Mac was on with the afternoon show last week, and he said they're kind of extra scholarship at this point. The kind of initial thought is to probably keep it in the back pocket for now, but if something comes up and you never know and stuff like that. Like I sort of wonder how that looks now that we have a better sense of who's available, coming out of the draft process.
Yeah, I haven't sat down and looked at the entire list of the free agents, the guys that came back and are still in the portal. But I know that was kind of part of the mention, like, oh, if there's somebody that withdraws from the draft, we'll keep an eye on. I don't know if there's a fit out there necessarily for Creighton. And again, at this point, filling all 13 scholarships isn't necessarily, I think, a priority anymore for coaches, just because it's hard to keep 13 guys healthy. And I know in the past, Creighton's either sat on the scholarship or they've kind of just taken a chance on guys like Brock Weiss and Sterling Knox and guys kind of just to get them in the program for years, use them as practice players and see what happens, give them a chance to see if they can be long-term part of the program or just start their career at a really good college and transfer to a lower level later on. So, it doesn't seem like they're going that last route this year. Still got a couple guys like that, young guys that maybe aren't expecting to be heavy rotation players right now. And so you don't have to worry about keeping them happy. But, we'll see kind of, again, I don't think we're not going to see Creighton in for a Coleman Hawkins, but I haven't looked at kind of what the full list and if there's anybody out there that would make sense.
What do you think about that schedule? They're gonna play Alabama on the road. They're gonna play Kansas at home. They're gonna get UConn twice in conference this year. And then they're obviously in the mega NIL tournament as well, which will have a pretty good field. And it's coming together. It's probably maybe a little on the tougher side than they imagine, but obviously, you got one of the better players in the country, and you want to showcase that a little bit. I guess we've seen this. We've seen tough scheduling hurt Creighton before. We've seen it help. I guess where do you think it lands? We're only in May, but where do you think it lands right now?
Yeah, it's certainly tough. They'll be battle tested, but by the end of the season, as I don't think obviously games of that level aren't going to hurt you even if you lose them.
Sure.
So long as you take care of business kind of the rest of the way and don't drop any of those games that you really shouldn't lose. So if they can, I think it'll be good to see those tests early on, especially kind of with the reconfiguring of the roster, trying to fit in the new pieces. Just kind of see, all right, what early on in the season, what it looks like, where we're at and what we need to do to improve to play against the highest level. Because that's obviously always the goal for this program. So, I think there'll be plenty of like tune-up games in there in between those high-profile ones, and we'll see kind of what the strength of the conference looks like once they get to that point. But yeah, it's certainly can't accuse Creighton of not scheduling an exciting non-conference fight for sure.
No doubt about it. Jacob, any thoughts? I guess the Western Conference series here, where it kind of, I guess I'm not really sure what to make of it. I don't obviously like Minnesota's chances to come back in the series, but I think a lot of people thought going in that it'd be at least a good series, if not in favor of Minnesota. It has almost played out that way. The Mavs have won a few close games, and the Minnesota got one back. What do we do with the results of this? And then also, if we get a Celtics Mavs final, what are we looking at here?
Good question. Well, one, Porzingis' health really matters for the final for Boston. If they get there, you would think they're going to be a solid favorite.
Yes, I think probably either way.
Yeah,
but
the Western Conference final, I don't know what's happened to Minnesota. It's just as a fan, it's really got to hurt when you're in every single game and just can't make the plays down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But that is kind of the next step for them. They got to this point. You've got a 22-year-old star guard kind of in this environment for the first time. You've got Cat doing whatever Cat is doing, which is I don't really know. Kind of hard to explain. He finally starts making shots after not being able to hit shots all season, and then commits the dumbest fouls you've ever seen and fouls himself out. Man, I don't know. I think I'm glad that they got that game just for the sake of having basketball on. Would have been a very long break if both series were sweeps. Like you said, I don't very much do not see 4 straight happening. It's never happened before, and I don't think this Minnesota team is equipped to be the first. But hopefully they can at least get another one here and give us a little bit more, little bit more basketball before the break hits and we get to the finals. But yeah, it's kind of a disappointing the way that these playoffs have gone. But again, a lot of that is just the injuries, just kind of sapping all intrigue out of many of these series. Like by the end of the Knicks series, like they just had nobody left, and Indiana, like they weren't going to win that no matter what. But losing Halliburton, just like
definitely not,
made it so they went out sad. And so, and obviously Jamal Murray, the way he was impacted, Denver just never had counter. Like it's unfortunate how many like significant players that have not been able to complete series in this playoffs. But hopefully we get a really good finals, and Dallas, whatever they found along this journey, can carry forward and give Boston a real fight for the championship.
Jacob, you need to get some sleep because I have a busy week in November for you. If you're interested.
Yeah, I guess you're saying I need to start my preparations now.
Yeah, I'd say you need to get as far ahead of it as you possibly can because there's going to be a big volleyball game that gets thrown in there too.
Yeah, it's. I mean, November's usually a busy time of the year anyway. I've had days where I've had football, volleyball, and basketball all on the same day. I think so. I think I'm prepared for whatever this year's going to throw at me.
Good. You don't have to get ready because you stay ready.
Exactly.
Do you have any thoughts on John Cook's horse contract?
It's the most John Cook thing ever. That's the one, like, just being around him, like, it was clear that he's still energized about coaching. Obviously, the retirement conversations have come up and whatever, like, how close is he to the end? And is he going to see through this recruiting class? And then he got 2 more top recruiting class after that. So is he going to see through those 2? I think the one concern you had is like, someday he's just going to just retire and head back to the ranch and spend the rest of his life with his horses and family. But he found a way to incorporate the horses into the volleyball even more than he already has. So, we're going to get a horse comment in every single press conference for the rest of his career, which is now going to extend for quite some time. Like, obviously he can still retire whenever he's ready, but I think the long-term aspect of it just shows that, like, yeah, he's still feeling good. He's still enjoying it. And Nebraska is obviously very happy to keep him around as long as he wants to keep doing this.
All right, Jacob, we appreciate it as always. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll try to ask about Baby Gronk again next week.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Jacob Padilla of Herd at Sports. He won. He won the stare off. I had to give in.
Yeah, we didn't want people barging in here.
I really would have liked to. I really would have liked to stay silent for longer.
Mm-hmm. Would have been a good bit, but
I'm really bad with the awkwardness, though. I usually just talk over the awkwardness. And so Jacob went in head first. He's like, "I'm not losing this."
Mm-hmm.
He just had a better mindset than me. I think I had too many things I was worried about.
He was clearly listening to the segment before, so he knew.
Gave him too many good ideas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Too many good ideas. Okay. Oh, by the way, speaking of Creighton basketball, Stephen Ashworth made it official yesterday that he was coming back. So I don't know if you guys really needed that piece of information because we kind of assumed that the entire time, given that he was like actively recruiting for Creighton over the last several weeks and stuff like that. But we kind of felt that, and he made it official on the old IG the other day. I believe one of the top comments on Stephen Ashworth's Instagram post.
Oh yeah.
Have you checked out the IG?
I don't frequent Stephen Ashworth's IG page.
Well, I would encourage you to check it out.
Okay.
There's some great stuff over there. But
really?
It's not really.
Okay.
Season 2, Run It Back. One of the top comments came from, actually, it might not be there anymore. Came from Providence coach Kim English.
famously not Ed Cooley.
Not Ed Cooley. Not Providence coach Ed Cooley. Doesn't exist anymore. He's Georgetown coach Ed Cooley now. Providence coach Kim English did like an emoji where he was sad that Stephen Ashworth was coming back.
Okay, that's funny.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't see it on there anymore, though. But that was the initial comment anyway. So welcome to the Big East.
Oh, Ed Cooley's allowed to stir the pot, but Kim English can't? You're going to be sad when Stephen Ashworth's
Remember when
gone.
they asked Kim English about how like hot of a guy he was in that press conference?
Yeah.
That was weird.
You know what? People are weird towards men's basketball players.
That's
as well.
right. That's right, Josh. Thank you for finally saying it. Needed to be
Justice
said.
for Doyle.
Back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
You get a lot of junk in your inbox. This one, not junk at all. 1620 the email. Exclusive content, contests, other stuff probably. Subscribe today at 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly cloudy Thursday afternoon with a high today of 78 and southeasterly wind gusts possible up to 25 miles an hour. Spotty to scattered showers and thunderstorms here this afternoon and tonight, a few of which may contain large hail, strong wind gusts, and isolated flash flooding also possible. A low tonight of 60. Scattered thunder showers for your Friday, a high tomorrow of 73. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620 The Zone.
Shop Sid Dillon Chevrolet, Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo, or shop at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
My taco pie is really something special, and it can't be imitated. It starts with my zesty taco sauce, seasoned beef, onions, lettuce, tomatoes, mounds of cheddar, and mozzarella cheese. This pie is the real deal. For a limited time, build your own feast with the specialty pizza, like my taco pie, a one-topping pizza, and cinnamon monkey bread. Do yourself a favor and order. Today, Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
No better time than now to focus on your garden or landscape. Come shop Lanaha's Garden Center, filled with the area's best quality plants, flowers, and trees. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanaha Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Guys, let's have a conversation. Let's say you've been losing interest in your spouse. You got low libido. You can't focus on things. And you're wondering, what is going on? It may be low testosterone. Mentality is here for you. With their FDA-approved testosterone treatment, their board-certified physicians who work with most insurance companies, they can diagnose the symptoms of low testosterone and take care of it. Schedule an appointment today. Go to the website, lowtusa.com. Take back your life, man. Mentality, lowtusa.com.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, are we taking this as a sign, or are we taking this as a sign of the opposite? I'll explain, Josh. Rain is impacting things at the Women's College World Series today in Oklahoma City, which will also have quite the effect, it seems, on this weekend's Stillwater Regional.
I have heard the rumors that it might be a messy weekend.
The Women's College World Series was supposed to start today at 11 a.m. And there is a big tarp on the field at the moment in Oklahoma City. So, sign of things to come here in Omaha, or it's in Stillwater this weekend, or do we say, it's a little bit of rain. It can't rain everywhere. We'll be off free and clear for the Men's College World Series this year. There have been many people on this radio station who have just succumbed to the fact, maybe even the voice of the College World Series saying, it's coming. Don't worry. It's coming. Because the last 2 years we've got off very, very easy. We've had one 80-ish minute delay, 60, 80 minute delay in a game last year. It's been brutally hot, but we've had no torrential downpours and really nothing to worry about from a weather perspective at all over the last 2 years. And so when game one of the Women's College World Series gets washed away, I get a little concerned. I get a little concerned.
Here's where my concern comes from. It has been like the fourth wettest May in the history of Mays here in Omaha.
Yes.
I need it to dry up and dry up quick.
Why do you need that?
If we're going to have a dry College World Series, I can't have the fourth wettest June of all time.
Well, if you're playing the odds, you're
Yeah.
thinking of the fourth wettest May will probably not lead to the fourth wettest June, but you never know.
Right. But I don't know.
You never know. Also, the fourth wettest May may just make it so when it's 150 degrees in 2 weeks, it will feel like it's 200 degrees because of the mugginess and things of that nature. The bugs are already out. We've already heard about the locusts returning this summer. Or no, the cicadas.
Yeah.
There's a big cicada swath that is apparently headed toward us or something like that. I don't know. I'm a little concerned, Josh.
I'm very concerned.
Okay.
I don't want to be like the pessimist like John and be like, it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen, because I don't know what's going to happen, because I'm an idiot. But boy, we sure seem due, and it seems to be trending that way.
Text from the text line here.
Hi, text line.
From the 402. Stillwater. Rain is water that's moving. Terrible city name. Bunch of liars.
You know what? Great take.
Agreed. Who cares about Stillwater? It's not very appropriately named. Also, have you heard this about Stillwater? They built themselves a nice new ballpark a couple of years called O'Brate Park.
Terrible name.
Well, what do you have against Mr. or Mrs. O'Brate?
Just the name hits the ear poorly.
The O'Brate family.
Yeah. I'm sure they're a great family, very philanthropic.
They must have gave millions of dollars to build this beautiful baseball stadium.
Well, they don't have Pickens anymore.
Last time Nebraska was in the Stillwater Regional, it has actually moved to Oklahoma City, where it became the hottest day on earth in day 3 of that regional. Nebraska lost in the winner's bracket game, where they got absolutely mauled by that one guy who hit the ball through the scoreboard. And then they got wrecked by UConn in that second day. So they're hoping to make it a little better this weekend. However, O'Brate Stadium, Josh, is a tiny baby field. Have you heard about this?
I have heard that the Cowboys play in a tiny baby ballpark.
Oklahoma State likes to hit home runs. You know who else likes to hit home runs? The Florida Gators.
And one man named Jack, J-A-C, because he doesn't take K's.
Yes. Oh, nice.
That's what I would say if I was Jack Caglione. Yeah, that's why my parents named me
That's pretty
Jack.
good.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, I mean, but he's a two-way guy, so he pitches, and you would want that K for the pitching side, right?
I give K's. I don't take K's.
Okay. All right. That's pretty good. That's not bad. Anyway, Florida likes to hit home runs too. They're big fans of it. They're top, they've hit 116 home runs this year, which is top 10 in the country. Nebraska to this moment has hit 66 home runs, which is about middle of the pack in the country. They also had one guy who hit 6 last week. So the number kind of moved a little bit. Oklahoma State is one of the top 25 teams in the country at hitting home runs as well. So if you're worried about a thing, just let me put this in your brain and let me make you worry about a couple things. Number one, rain. Be concerned. It's coming.
Okay.
Number two, dongs. You do not want it to get too offensive in Stillwater, Oklahoma this weekend.
I hate an offensive dong.
You do not want it. You don't want it at all if you're Nebraska. Not necessarily a home run hitting team. Maybe they get a couple more because of the size of the way the ball flies.
Couple.
We'll see. But you're going to have to, I would say this.
You're going to have to deal with the dongs?
You're going to have to deal with the dongs. There will be dongs. But the key is to not make those dongs like 3-run dongs, 4-run dongs. Like Jack Cags, no K, hits a solo. Forget about it. You're good. That's a win for you. It's like slow pitch softball when the guy hits a solo home run because he just decides that he wants to crank one out of here for some reason. I don't care. I'll give you the run. That's fine. You can have the run. I'll deal with it. 1 is
okay.
1 is fine. 2 is worse. 3 is bad.
3 is bad.
4 is very bad.
Ask Schwellenbach.
And
3 is bad.
Nebraska has some history in regionals the last 2 times they've been in one, in 2019 and 2021, with giving up large-scale dongs of, I believe they were both grand slams, one to Trevor Boone and one to Charlie Welch.
Ouch.
Late innings with games on the line to kind of bury you. So we're going to go ahead and just cross our fingers here because it kind of feels like a situation where history maybe could repeat itself. If history were to repeat itself this weekend, it would look a lot like this. I'm a lot like Josh Hodson making a college baseball bracket, just so he could say he's right about something at the end of it.
That's right.
If history were to repeat itself this weekend, it would look something like this. Nebraska beats Florida on Friday. Thumbs up, right? Good.
Yeah.
Who knows how long it takes? Who knows how long the game, might take it because you're going to get some rain in there. But then Nebraska goes into that Oklahoma State game, and they feel good about themselves in the late innings, and then Tiny Baby Ballpark strikes. Dongtown arrives.
At your front door.
Yeah, that'd be history repeating itself. We do not want that. Or some form of that. Now, in 2021, it was in Game 7 of the regional after Nebraska had pushed it to that point. In 2019, it was in that second winners bracket game. The less dongs, the better this weekend. Usually, I love dongs. This weekend, less of a fan.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. So let me ask you this, Nebraska baseball related. Let me run through some scenarios. I just gave you one very sad one. Let me run you through a couple more. Number one, I guess to ask the general question, how do you feel about this team? Is it time for them to break into the super regionals? Do you feel as if the opportunity combined with the weight, Nebraska hasn't been out of the regional round since they went to the College World Series in 2005. Do you think the opportunity, given the opponents that you have and the way the team is playing right now, combined with the team that you have, is a good one, and you throw that all into a pot and it says Nebraska should or could get out of this weekend? That's a question you might have to ask yourself. What if they don't? What if they 2-Q? Really changes things a lot. What if they, lose to, let's just kind of go through a couple of those things. How do you feel after this? So how do you feel after Nebraska goes 2-Q?
Bad.
It's a good word to describe it, Josh.
That's the one that can't happen.
Okay. Cannot go 0-2.
Yeah.
I like that. No, I think you're right.
Everything else.
Because that would probably mean losing to Niagara.
Right.
You don't want to lose to Niagara.
And that's why. I guess if it was even the combination of you drop the first one to Florida State and somehow Oklahoma State lost their first game and it's Nebraska, Oklahoma State in an elimination game and you lose that one.
That one's okay?
I guess then you got to shrug your shoulders and go, well, okay.
Okay. I don't know. I think any combination of 2 and Q is bad.
Yeah, it's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth. But
Any combination of 2 and Q is bad. Like Nebraska is basically at the point where I feel like they should win a game in the NCAA tournament. As weird as it is to say, it doesn't get you anywhere if you win one game. I know.
What month is it?
I know. I feel like they should win a game in the NCAA tournament. I mean, they're a 2 seed, right? They're by their seeding, they're supposed to win a game in the NCAA tournament. Okay, how do you feel? Let's go to the other side of the scale. How do you feel, obviously, if they get through on to the supers?
Oh, that's great. I don't expect them to, and that's not me being a hater. Like that would be a surprise to me if they made the supers.
Okay. How do you feel if you go Florida win, Okie State loss, Florida loss again? Florida bonks you out.
I mean,
I'm on the bad side of okay.
It's bad, but it's acceptable, right? Like,
I guess
you won a game.
You won a game in the
tournament.
tournament. I definitely don't feel good about it. All right, what if you go?
Don't lose like 12-2 or something like that. But
what if you go? We're just taking you through all of them here. What if you go loss to Florida, win against Niagara, win against Florida,
okay,
and
you have to play Florida
then
again, right?
you'd have to beat Oklahoma State twice.
Oh, yeah,
assuming that they win both their games, or maybe it could be some combination.
Yeah, I guess I'm.
Then
fine
you're
with that.
pushing Oklahoma State.
I'm fine with that.
If you, I would say this: if you are a regional finalist, if you are one of the last 2 teams standing in that tournament, I'm good. Handshake meme, sign the contract. I'm in on it.
Yeah,
I don't know that
I agree with that.
I don't know that I'd sign on the dotted line for it. Like, I don't know if I'd take that result over any other result, because I think on the scale of results, like Nebraska, like there's a chunk of a chance that Nebraska makes it out of this weekend and they move on to the super regionals, which I'd obviously take over anything. So I don't know if I would like throw every other possibility out the window just to be a regional finalist, because it doesn't really get you anything outside of saying you pushed Oklahoma State or you pushed Florida, whatever it is again. But I would certainly I'd almost be happy with that result. In fact, I would say I'd be happy with that result. Nebraska is a regional finalist. They lost to the team that ended up in the super regional, and maybe that team went on to make the College World Series.
Got to.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Those are some scenarios. Kenneth says, don't sleep on Niagara. Sorry, I'm sleeping.
Wow.
I'm sleeping on Niagara.
The disrespect. You don't even know anything about Niagara.
Maybe if I went down there this weekend and I chopped it up with their athletic director like I did with the NJIT guy a few years ago, that would put me in a different place on Niagara.
I mean,
I really came out of that feeling really bad for NJIT. I couldn't understand why they were in that regional in the first place. And then I talked to Lenny, their athletic director, for hours. He was just telling me all these problems that they have to deal with on a daily basis. And I'm like, I don't know how you do it up there.
Purple Aces are 38-15 this year.
Niagara? Niagara's the Purple Aces?
Yeah. Yet Purple
desist,
Eagles.
Evansville. Oh.
Purple Eagles, excuse me. Yet to lose a neutral site game this year. They're 3-0.
Oh God.
In that,
watch out, Okie State.
Took a game from Michigan State and East Lansing in April.
Okay. Nebraska lost a game up there.
Yeah.
Scary.
Undefeated in the MAAC tournament.
Maybe I'm sleeping on Niagara a little bit too much. Chance writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Chance.
He says, I think this is the best shot we've had for a while. Sears, Mason McConaughey, Will Walsh, the Brocket Man, give me hope. Offense is good enough to give me hope. Hope is a dangerous thing, but at least this isn't midweek games. That is true.
These are played on the weekend.
These are games that are played on the weekend. Now, my question is, if you get to game 7 and it's Monday, how do we categorize a Monday?
Right.
What is Monday?
Is that a long weekend or is that
or is that an early midweek?
Yeah. We'll have to talk about that at some point.
We'll have to sort that out. By the way, I like this. Did you put this up yet?
Yeah, I have, but please put it up again. I'm going to put it up during the commercial break.
Welcome to Dongtown.
I made that a long time ago.
Really? Why?
Yeah. I don't remember.
Were they hitting dongs?
They were hitting dongs a while ago.
Question from the 712. Poll question,
712.
do you love big dongs?
Nope, not doing that.
So text from the 402, Connor is flirting with an FCC violation talking about large-scale dongs. I think we've already crossed the threshold of dongs is fine. I haven't asked.
This isn't a you get one situation.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. We're very careful about the things that we say around here. And there's no filter on the amount of dongs you could use. I hope there is a filter on the amount of dongs that get hit this weekend in Stillwater if they play baseball games in the rain.
Hopefully the dongs are not limitless.
Very, very scary. That ballpark is a tiny baby boy. Very scary. All right, have fun in Stillwater, everybody who's going or staying in the areas about Stillwater, in the Stillwater metro area. I think hotels are pretty scarce down there, by the way.
Bring your poncho.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody pay tribute to T-Boone. You know, say hello to Gundy and his mullet. It's a little Big 12. Get a little Big 12 back in you. Maybe go to Bricktown just for the fun of it.
Oh, definitely. Please do. Send pics.
Josh has the odd news next on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning.
At Host Coffee Services, every cup of coffee served comes with a promise of quality, innovation, and a dash of fun, ensuring your workday is as delightful as your coffee break. Call Host Coffee Services today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee Services is always roasting something good for you.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Guys, let's have a conversation. Let's say you've been losing interest in your spouse. You got low libido. You can't focus on things. And you're wondering, what is going on? It may be low testosterone. Mentality is here for you. With their FDA-approved testosterone treatment, the board-certified physicians who work with most insurance companies, they can diagnose the symptoms of low testosterone and take care of it. Schedule an appointment today. Go to the website, lowtusa.com. Take back your life, man. Mentality, lowtusa.com.
There are some things that happen every day. In the morning, my paper gets delivered. Thank you. Around noon, my neighbor waters his flowers wearing a bathrobe and hip waders. Hello, Mr. Willis.
Where's my paper?
After dinner, the lady up the street walks her 14 poodles. And just before the 10 o'clock news, the Nebraska Lottery winning numbers are drawn for their daily games. Nebraska Pick 3, 2x2, and My Day. With Nebraska Pick 3, you choose your bet type. In 2x2, there's a $22,000 top prize. And with My Day, you choose a 6-digit date. They're all just $1 to play, with drawings every day. Oh, excuse me. Hi, Mr. Willis.
I'm still looking for my paper.
Guess which part of the day is my favorite?
Nebraska Pick 3, 2x2, and My Day top prize odds vary by game.
Let's go on a fishing trip you will be talking about for years. The best walleye fishing trip ever. Join me, Crash Davis. We're going to travel to the walleye capital of the world, September 15th through the 19th aboard a deluxe motor coach. Travel with me to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Pricing includes round-trip motor coach transportation, 4 nights lodging, 3 days of fully guided walleye fishing, and all of our meals. Go fishing with me, Crash. Your best trip ever. Sign up at ballardsresort.com. ballardsresort.com. And set the hook.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make languages fun and engaging. You might even forget you're learning. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. Babbel teaches language skills you'll actually use. About travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are voiced by real native speakers, you'll get pronunciation just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long. And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Get Babbel. It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Odd Son.
Okay, Josh. Enough dong talk, unless you got something else.
No dong stories.
That's good.
That I know of.
I mean, that's not good. I'd like to talk about it more, I guess.
Well, I have a bad take from a walking penis, Colin Cowherd.
Oh, we have also said that word a couple times on this show.
Yeah, I figured
We're get a little nasty today.
Yeah, I mean, it's summer. We're trying to make Colorado a nasty game, so you know,
we are.
You got to get nasty every now and then.
What's Colin saying?
Colin says that USC, he's talking about their desire to not participate in their football game with LSU. They tried to SCO-FRO it.
That's right.
That's what we're calling it.
Yes.
He did not call it a SCO-FRO, by the way.
He should have, though. We should have sent that his way.
Discussing USC's hellish schedule Wednesday on The Herd, Cowherd, one of my enemies, explained why the NCAA and college football conferences have slowly chipped away at history, and individual programs should be encouraged to do the same. With their move to the Big Ten this fall, the Trojans will face last year's national champion, Michigan, in addition to CFP programs like Washington and Ohio State, not to mention longtime neighbors and rivals, UCLA and Oregon.
Yes.
So
they have a schedule.
Colin was not surprised that USC tried to run away from LSU, and he thinks they should do the same with their annual game against Notre Dame.
Ugh.
Instead, Cowherd argued
sickening, Colin.
USC should cakewalk through their non-conference slate and hunker down for the murderer's row of the new Big Ten. Why do they have to keep playing Notre Dame? Cowherd asked. College football punted on history last year. They disbanded the only Power 5 conference west of the Rockies, punted it into the ether, every man for himself, so spare me on the history. When you start that salty discharge coming from your eyes, down your cheeks, talking about USC Notre Dame, this is a sport that punted on an entire region of the country. Longtime regional rivals into the ether. Why does he keep saying ether?
He loves saying ether.
Why is USC playing Notre Dame? All good things come to an end. Now,
okay.
I make fun of people who whined last year about, what about the Apple Cup? What about the Apple Cup? USC should play Notre Dame.
USC should play Notre Dame. USC fans should want to play Notre Dame.
Yes.
From a USC football perspective, because obviously he's in the bag for Lincoln Riley, right?
I would think so.
Yeah,
and the Big Ten as a conference to be as successful as possible because his show is on FS1, an entity of Fox, which
maybe, but he did call Iowa the fake ID of college football that one time. That was awesome.
I think that was engagement farming.
Probably. What isn't though, Josh? You do it every day.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Clickbait, Josh.
Don't you make any noise at a Pete Davidson show or I'm coming after you.
So I think as college football fans, we should want USC and Notre Dame to play. We should want there to be the old school traditional rivalries. But I do understand his point from the actual football team perspective to, if you're going to be playing the gauntlet of a conference schedule that you're going to be playing in the Big Ten. But I do think even fans of the program that fans of USC should want to play Notre Dame.
Yeah, you still want
right? Because we do this all the time with Nebraska. Well, because there was people who had the gall at the time to say, I actually get it, SCO-FRO, get out of that Oklahoma game. I'm like, you kidding me? We've been looking forward to this game for years and years and years. And we haven't played Oklahoma. It's this great classic traditional college football rivalry. And you guys want to kill it because you're scared you'll lose? Give me a break.
I understand for teams in the Big Ten and the SEC that your non-conference schedule almost literally doesn't matter. Just win as many games as possible and you'll be put in the college football playoff if you win 10 or 11 games.
Yeah,
but
also you get 9-3.
Right. But
also be better.
True. But I mean, Nebraska, Northern Iowa, really? Is that what we're doing? It doesn't jump off the screen and go, ooh, I can't wait to talk about that game for a week and watch it that Saturday.
No, but you got to have some cupcakes.
Sure.
Nebraska's playing Colorado in the non-con this year. You get one. That's how the schedules have always gone, and I'm fine with it. You get one premier non-con game, and then you do whatever the hell else you want with the other 2. Or with the other 3, how it used to be before the Big Ten got to 9 games. And how it's going to be with the SEC soon, because they're going to say, why are we making so much less money than the Big Ten Conference? And somebody will finally answer the question, probably because you play one less conference game. They'll figure that out eventually, would be my guess. I was looking at Notre Dame's slate this year.
Hey, what do they got? What's the ACC cooked up for them this
Notre
year?
Dame notoriously not in a conference. So we were talking about college football fans and what's good for college football fans. Here's who Notre Dame plays at home this year.
This is the NBC slate.
Now they have bigger road games in some cases, but here's who they play at home. Northern Iowa, Miami of Ohio.
Boy, Northern Iowa, we're really getting after it this year.
Louisville. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean Northern Iowa. I meant Northern Illinois.
Oh,
I apologize. Northern Illinois, Miami of Ohio, Louisville at the end of September. Stanford, poopy garbage.
ACC team.
Navy, poopy garbage. But watch out for those service academies.
But a Navy Notre Dame, that's a classic college football rivalry.
Yeah. Then you get Florida State in November.
Hello.
Florida State, Virginia, Army in November. Actually, Army's not a home game. Army is a neutral site game at Yankee Stadium.
Hello.
This year. So once again, Notre Dame's home schedule. Just tell me, if you're a Notre Dame fan, are you happy with this? Northern Illinois, Miami of Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, Navy, Florida State, Virginia.
No, because I'll bet those season tickets are expensive.
And then you'd have to sell your Florida State seats just to get your money back.
Mm-hmm.
You have to miss the best game. They do play on the road at Texas A&M and at USC this year, but they need to join a conference, guys. Join the conference.
Join a conference that lines up with your ideologies, Notre Dame.
We'd be very happy to have you.
We'd love to just pluck you right into that already existing commercial. We would make room.
Be very happy to have you. You fit perfectly in the flyover state category.
We head to, I don't know what state this is in.
Where we headed, Josh?
Oh, Cali. We're going back to Cali. Bear was caught on camera breaking into a California home. The bear stole one item and one item only.
Oh, can I guess?
Oh, please, yes.
A colander. A strainer.
That is not correct. It's not even close.
Sad.
But what a great guess. Also.
Thank you.
Like, just completely random.
Was it out of the fridge?
It is an unrefrigerated food item.
A bag of gummy bears.
Close.
That would be ironic, wouldn't it be?
It would be very ironic. It might actually be funnier than this. A package of Oreo cookies.
Oh, delicious.
Very. Video recorded the bear entering the home through a window and exiting with a package of Oreos dangling from its mouth.
It's pretty funny.
A neighbor said the same sweet-toothed bear, now known to residents as Oreo, previously visited her garage to steal chocolate cake from her refrigerator.
This bear just likes sweets.
I guess.
This bear's like Josh.
Bears, yeah. I get a little snacky throughout the day.
Yeah, you like cakes and cookies.
I do.
You like cakes and cookies.
I do.
Poll question: does Josh Odson like cakes and cookies?
Put it up,
all right,
and I will tell you about a story that has been sent to me a lot. I appreciate everyone sending me this story. I already had it. I saw it on the news last night, and I said, "This is perfect." We go to Ann Arbor, Michigan.
The news? What did you do while watching the news?
I'm almost 40, Connor. I watch the news during dinner time, right
you
before
get sad?
Jeopardy. Yes,
yeah, it's right before Jeopardy.
Most of the time.
Oh, you're talking about the Lester Holt news?
Oh yeah, Lester time. That's what we call it at our house. No, it's Lester time.
Okay.
And most of the time we do go, hey, this is really depressing. Do you want to put on cartoons until Jeopardy's on? But a man with a suspended license joined his court Zoom call. So, a lot of these cities and counties, municipalities, they've said, hey, we're going to do court via Zoom now because we don't need to bring you in here. You're not going to come if we tell you to come. So we'll just do it over Zoom and it'll be fine. Man joined while driving. Probably shouldn't do that just as a general rule. Don't Zoom and drive. But the man had a suspended license, and that's what he was on trial for. Driving with a suspended license.
Yes.
And he joined the Zoom call.
Oh.
He joined his trial while driving.
Was he guilty?
Oh, yes. Corey Harris was up on trial for driving with a suspended license. The assistant public defender stated that Mr. Harris will be present via Zoom. Harris almost immediately after joined the call, when immediately District Judge J. Cedric Simpson, great judge name, noticed that Harris was wearing a seatbelt and the vehicle was clearly in motion. Judge Simpson, who was visibly astonished, then asked Harris if he was behind the wheel. Harris said, "Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office. Just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now." So freely admitted to it.
just do the Zoom call like 10 seconds later, man.
While the judge processed what was going on, the Zoom cameras pivoted towards the public defenders, who looked disappointed and bewildered. Others sitting back in the courtroom were seen trying to hide their laughter. Eventually, the bemused judge threw his pen on the table, put one hand on his face, and asked Harris if he was stationary. He was not. Upon parking,
a moving car,
Harris's legal team requested an adjournment. The judge did not grant it. The judge said, "Okay, so
can you guys pretend like you never saw this, please?
Maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended case, and he was just driving," the judge said.
I think he's guilty. Bang that gavel.
Harris's bond was revoked, and he was ordered to return himself to the county jail by 6 o'clock yesterday evening. I guess I did not do the legwork to find out if he showed up to jail.
That's okay.
I mean,
we got the story.
How's he supposed to drive himself to jail, Judge? He can't drive.
Yeah, he's gonna get a ride.
Yeah.
Take an Uber.
Hey, can you take me to jail?
2 poll questions up at Happer Show.
2 polls. Okay.
Does @producer_Josh like cakes and cookies?
I do. That's got to be yes.
And also, do you watch NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt and call it Lester time?
So
we did get a response to that, by the way.
Okay. Is it from my wife?
No, it's from Trumpsker.
Oh, God.
Who simply commented fake news.
Look. It's just on before Jeopardy. Okay. I'm not saying something or endorsing anyone or anything.
It is on before Jeopardy.
By sharing that piece of vulnerability with the audience.
And you know what I noticed about NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt? Because I go back and I watch the old Jeopardy episodes because I haven't watched them live.
It ends with a happy story.
They're always talking about Caitlin Clark. They talk about Caitlin Clark in the final 2 minutes of that show every day. They do like a Caitlin Clark update.
They definitely do like a okay.
What's Caitlin Clark up to?
People like her. Let's talk about her. Sort
weird.
Of thing. So, real quick before we go to break here, my wife. It's summer. It's summer now, so her routine is a little different. But generally, she doesn't listen to the whole 4 hours of the show because, God, why would anyone?
That's okay.
But she cooks dinner and we scroll through the poll questions. I cannot wait to see her random reaction to.
Let's vote yes to that.
Yeah.
I do call it Lester.
I do. That's me. Actually. That's us. How'd that come up, honey?
That's the odd news. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
We'll come back. I would like to ask you a question. Do you think Matt Rule is a run the ball guy or a bomb the ball guy?
Oh.
And do I have some stats for you?
Love stats.
And maybe a prediction. Next on 1620 The Zone. But first, the NBA playoffs are indeed in full swing, and they're even winding down. But it's not too late for you to get in on the action with the FanDuel Sportsbook. Head over there right now, because right now new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's right. It's $150 you can use on things like same-game parlays or live bets during the finals, championship futures, maybe even in other sports, and so much more. Head over to the FanDuel Sportsbook, where the Minnesota Timberwolves are 4.5-point favorites in Game 5. So maybe you like the Mavs to close it out. $5 bet, you win it, bang, $150 in bonus bets just for you. Go to FanDuel.com/Happer and get started. FanDuel.com/Happer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, This is 1620 The Zone.
No better time than now to focus on your garden or landscape. Come shop Lanaha's Garden Center, filled with the area's best quality plants, flowers, and trees. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanaha Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Experience personalized service and exceptional deals at Woodhouse Lincoln. With cutting-edge technology and incredible design, Woodhouse Lincoln is the place to find your next luxury vehicle. Going on now, receive 2.9% APR for 72 months on the 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Or save up to $2,000 off MSRP with retail customer cash on the 2024 Lincoln Navigator. With approved credit, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires July 8, 2024. See dealer for details.
With Verizon, now everyone can get our best phone deals.
Even if I'm new?
Even if you're new.
What if I've been with Verizon forever?
Oh, yeah. You see, new and existing customers get the amazing iPhone 15 with tons of storage on us. With any iPhone trade-in, any model, any condition. Guaranteed with unlimited ultimate.
Here's one. What if?
That's a yes. There's a deal out there for everyone. Only at Verizon. $829.99, 128 gigabyte only device payment or full retail purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line on unlimited ultimate plan. Minimum $90 a month with auto pay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Less $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trade-in terms apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Quickly before we get to the topic du jour today via my spreadsheets, I received a text that I had to look into during the break. It is before, it's not any news or anything like that. We'll get the game times in an hour. It was a text that said, "Did you hear about the pandas coming back to America?"
I did actually hear about this.
You heard about the pandas?
I saw it on Lester Time last night. It's not a joke.
Tell me about it. Do you remember it? You remember the
I
story?
believe the DC Zoo has gotten some pandas. We had this agreement with China, like, hey, you give us some pandas, we'll keep them for like 10 years. And then things got a little salty between China and America. And China said, hey, give us those pandas back.
They wanted their pandas
back. And now, as relations are softening, I guess, they said, here, have some pandas.
Are we being soft with China right now? Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's a road that I do not want to go down.
Connor?
Yeah.
Connor?
Yeah.
Don't go down that road.
I'm not going to. So I asked a follow-up question to this person. I said, I did not hear about the pandas coming back.
Why would this person text you about
that? China made America give all the zoo pandas back, and now China's giving some back, and we're just accepting them. Like China doesn't have cameras
like
that
they
are
aren't bugged. The pandas are bugged.
Do you think the pandas that China is giving us back are bugged?
Well, question up at Happer show.
Do you think they're listening to us with the pandas? What do you think they would find? Are you suspicious of the pandas?
A lot of Harambe jokes.
I'm pulling up the AP article. The DC Zoo announced Wednesday that a fresh agreement had been struck with the Chinese government, and a pair of adult pandas would be arriving from China by the end of the year. The Smithsonian's National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute said the incoming pair are Bao Li and Qing Bao.
Sure. Yeah, great.
Giant pandas are prized in Washington and around the nation and the world. The number of pandas in American zoos has dwindled as loan agreements lapsed during diplomatic tensions between the U.S. and China. Is that why we lost our pandas? Do we have pandas? Where'd our polar bears go? What happened to our polar bears?
I think the world is having that same issue with polar bears.
Well, who are we getting our polar bears on loan from?
I don't know.
Who do we need to soften relations with?
I think we need to encourage the polar bears to make more polar bears.
Word of the new exchange agreement spread quickly through the National Zoo grounds Wednesday, with multiple signs announcing the pandas are coming, and fresh displays of panda-themed merchandise holding a prominent place in gift shops. Oh, look, they quoted an 8th grader in this story. Sophia Valley, an 8th grader from Delaware, came with a school group hoping to see pandas and was unaware that the zoo is currently panda-free. Instead, she and her classmates, all wearing panda ear headbands, posed for pictures in front of a giant panda statue and discussed coming back after the new pandas arrive. Quote, "They're my favorite animal," Sophia said. "They're so fluffy and they're lazy like me."
A good self-scout, I guess.
I had no idea. People are very excited about the pandas. I'm glad I was made aware of this.
Yes, thank you to that text.
And thank you to Lester from last night who made Josh aware of this.
Full circle. Everything is show prep, everybody. 24/7.
Text from the 707.
That's 707. Where's that?
That is in California way.
Oh, okay.
I believe Canada has a monopoly on the polar bear population.
Whoa.
We need to get some back. Whatever we need to do. We need to Mr. Yogurt, just be really, really nice to Canada because we need those pandas back.
Matt Rule, say you need a polar bear.
If John Cook or Matt Rule was like, hey, I think it'd be really cool if we got a polar bear, Mr. Yogurt would go get them one.
I guess I got to get a polar bear now.
I guess I got to get it and put it in the contract of John Cook. Sam writes in on Twitter.
Hi, Sam.
Panda's overrated?
Whoa.
He says it seems like a lot of effort to go through. We're talking about diplomatic relations between countries just to get our hands on some more pandas.
Okay.
And we're not sure if they're bugged or not.
Right.
We're not sure if they're watching us. It seems like a lot of effort to go through just to get a panda.
I don't think that's the trade agreement America and China should be making right now. I'll meet you right there. But man, they're cute.
It's an interesting question. They don't do much. We had the do we still have the red panda or the red fox
the
thing?
Halftime of basketball games.
No, not
all
that
over
one.
This great country.
Not that one. Not that one. The one at the zoo in the Asian Highlands. The red
I believe so.
The red fox or whatever, the red panda. Steve writes in, good point. Matt Rule already has a polar bear.
Damn it, you're right.
No need to put it in the contract.
Yes, I believe there's a red panda at the Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo, the world's #1 zoo.
Hell yeah.
Who, if everybody plays
we need to get a panda. If DC is trying to outdo us with pandas, we have to get a panda.
We need to put those little notes on your phone that you do. Spoiler alert, when we talk to a zoo guy at the Omaha Baseball Village, say, why did DC get a panda over the world's #1 zoo?
John emails in. He says the pandas are not bugged. They're actually people wearing panda suits. China is just keeping the real pandas.
Sure.
Sam says pandas are like a guy on a Supermax deal who really should be the second guy on a title team. pandas are like Jalen Brunson? Is that what we're saying?
Protect the hand of
It'd
the pandas.
it'd be the first guy on the Knicks. But if Jalen Brunson wanted to win a title, yeah, I kind of get that. I like that.
Great comp, Sam.
A text from the 402 says the red panda died at some point.
Oh, my goodness.
Within the last year and a half. I don't know that to be true. I don't want to spread misinformation. I hope that we still have a red panda. I hope the red panda is still with us. Another text says if pandas don't help Nebraska win games, that's too much effort.
February 21st, 2024.
It was not 18 months ago, but it was just 3.
Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo announces new resident in Asian Highlands, 6-year-old red panda from Rochester, New York.
Oh, so maybe the original red panda died.
The red panda named Starlight, or Star for short, can be seen at the entrance of the Highlands.
Not as cool as Panda, though.
Right, definitely.
I'm glad I got that text.
Really turned that into something, didn't we?
We should probably just take a break now.
Yeah, definitely. There's no transitioning from that.
Matt Rule, pass the ball guy, run the ball guy. Who knows? Find out next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
I read a book about the idea of aliens being a thing. What is that, a new concept? Someone writing about aliens? No. It talked about if we're going to find aliens, how we hope to find them. Boy, that sounds like a really exciting book. It was a great book. I ripped right through it.
John, this is why you don't have fun. You don't allow yourself to wonder.
I wonder all the time. I wonder how I've made it this long being next to you two.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly cloudy Thursday afternoon with a high today of 78 and southeasterly wind gusts possible up to 25 miles an hour. Spotty to scattered showers and thunderstorms here this afternoon and tonight, a few of which may contain large hail, strong wind gusts, and isolated flash flooding also possible. A low tonight of 60. Scattered thunder showers for your Friday, a high tomorrow of 73. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote 1-800-670-5151. That's 1-800-670-5151. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-670-5151. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Are Nebraska craft beers and ciders important to you? Whether you just love Nebraska brewed beers and ciders or you're a full-fledged craft brewery, there are benefits to membership for anyone with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Their sole mission is to foster and help grow the Nebraska-centric brewing community. Become a member today at nebraska.beer and help advance the craft beer and cider industry in the state of Nebraska. Find out more about the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild at nebraska.beer.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives. But those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Nick, the NBA playoffs are underway, and our good friends at FanDuel, they're going to give all customers 2 chances to bring home a big win with a no-sweat same-game parlay every weekend of the playoffs. All you have to do is just place a same-game parlay on any playoff matchup, and you're going to get bonus bets back if you don't win.
That is absolutely 100% accurate. Bet on everything from rebounds to assists, three-pointers, whatever you can squeeze in there. So much more. Visit FanDuel.com. Use the promo code ZONE. Again, that's FanDuel.com/zone. And shoot your shot on America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Thank you for chiming in on the Panda conversation.
Total team effort there on that one.
Definitely somewhere I expected to go today. But when you get a text that says, quote, "Did you hear about the pandas coming back to America?" You got to really go from there. And
sometimes you just got to go where the show takes you.
I was really happy to unravel that. The Royals are on.
And winning.
I'm watching on this now side peripheral vision big TV. So this is going to lead to me.
You might have to move that TV
this is
a little bit.
This is going to lead. Oh,
is it on wheels?
Oh, it is.
Okay, I can move it while you talk. Connor, we don't want to illegally disseminate or illegally broadcast a blacked out Royals Twins game.
How is it now?
Fine, it's fine.
Better.
Nick shows more in the afternoon.
I'd like to move it right here so I didn't have to turn my head every time I wanted to watch the Royals.
Maybe we could do that.
Well, there is a weird fan that's hooked up to that seems to be blocking my way. I'll work on that during the break.
Yeah, we'll perfect it.
We'll get there.
By the end of the show. Also, I can see the TV better.
I got you.
Okay.
I'll
watch some Royals.
Yeah, because we can't watch them on our big TV because cable doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And now, by the way, just quick thing before we get to the Matt Rule deal. The Bally's app is one of the worst things of all time.
Oh, really?
I mean, it
Why do you say that? Just out of curious. I don't ever work with it.
Well, it's unavailable on some of like the I can't get it on my TV at home, my big TV. Like it's not on the app store on the TV.
Wow, that's horrible.
But it is on like the Fire Stick and I think on the Roku too. Maybe not on the Roku. It's just on. It's a moving target on what it's on and what it's not on, and how you can get it. But the worst part is this: instead of filling it completely with commercials, they have about the same commercial that plays. They rotate through about 3 commercials that play only.
Mm-hmm.
It's one for the British Basketball League.
Why is that a thing? Okay.
It's apparently the only other thing they have on Bally's. There's a couple others. And then when they decide that they don't have any more of those commercials to run through during a commercial break, they will put up a slate that says commercial break in progress.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that the slate makes these horrible, horrible noises. It makes noises.
It's not just random bed music.
No, it sounds like it's trying to ASMR me, Josh.
Oh,
and you know how much I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a guy sliding into home plate. It's ice skates. It's a basketball bouncing.
It's the MLB TV diamond.
But it's so loud.
Oh, it's loud.
It shouldn't
be loud.
so loud.
We
need to get this straight. If we're going to do streaming, we need to figure our stuff out.
MLB TV often gives you that ASMR baseball sound. The Shohei Ohtani New Balance commercial, which if I see that commercial one more time, I will burn this studio to the ground. We got next. And last year they had a lot of Viore clothing featuring Livy Dunn commercials. I don't see them this year. Maybe they didn't renew their contract with MLB TV, or it just says your game is at a commercial.
By the way, I mean, there was another Paul Skeens start yesterday, so it was another excuse to talk about Livy Dunn.
Oh, it got weird.
As it does.
It got weird.
You can talk about Paul Skeens without talking about Livy Dunn.
You can. It's
you
possible.
really can.
I've seen it.
It's actually better when you do that because then it's more about baseball.
Got super weird on that Tigers broadcast. Why would Jason?
They had a
Mannion allow that?
graphic. They were like, baseball's new power couple. Look, she has 1 billion followers, and Paul Skeens has like 10. Comparatively. Anyway, like we don't have to do this. We really don't have to do this. Anyway, all right. We've been teasing this for a little while now, so I feel guilty. And I did some research, so you're gonna have to hang out with us here.
Scotty says, sounds like 1620 The Zone's streaming commercials.
I don't
would love to help
have a further comment on that.
Would love to help you.
I don't, but a lot of what I said about Bally's might apply. So, Mitch said something yesterday. Mitch Sherman. He said something interesting yesterday when we were talking. We started the conversation by talking about Nebraska's personnel at running back, and we talked about Ramir Johnson, and then kind of went through the room, and it led to the regular conversation that we get to regarding running backs, which is I don't really know what they're going to get out of that room. I don't like. Half of them aren't healthy. Half of them haven't been in a featured role before. Half of them haven't ever played before. That's 3 halves. It's like man, bear, pig. That's what Nebraska's running back room is right now. I don't know what to think of it. And so it's led into this kind of thought process that Nebraska is actually quite strong at wide receiver, that they're going to get good production from the wide receiver room this year. And of course, they are much, much better at quarterback. And it evolved into something about how Nebraska might attack things from a run-pass perspective this year. This has always been a point of contention with Nebraska fans. How much do you run the ball? Run the damn ball. Well, let me offer you this. What if Nebraska's personnel says that they shouldn't run the ball, or that they should run the ball less?
Whoa.
Then they actually pass the ball this year. Would it surprise you to know that in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 7 seasons, 5 out of the 8 seasons that Matt Rule has been a head coach in college football, so more seasons than not, sack adjusted, Matt Rule's teams have passed the ball more than they have run the ball. They have passed the ball more than they have run the ball. That's once again sack adjusted. In the years in which they have won, they have taken these big hikes in winning games. They won 10 games at Temple in 2015, 10 games at Temple in 2016, and 11 games at Baylor in 2019. They have been skewed a little bit more toward running the football. I think one thing that we can learn, given Matt Rule's history, I'll take you through the numbers in a second, but keep this in mind as we go through it. I think one thing that we could take away here is that Matt Rule, because he is not tied to an offense, because he is not tied to, I've talked about this before, he's not tied to a system. He doesn't have something, basically what I'm saying is he doesn't have an agenda on offense. Don't you hate it? We should
can't figure him out.
We should get Patriot Supply Nick in here to talk about this. I hate it when people have agendas on offense, but they are tied to an offense, and we say, hey, look, that might be a positive because they have an identity. But sometimes they force their identity without the thought process of what their personnel actually looks like. That is self-inflicted. That is a self-inflicted negative that you have created for your own football team. Matt Rule has shown over his career that he is not that. And sometimes I think you could say, like, the downside to it is, oh, okay, what did they go back to when they're in a pinch? And I think that'll be really the key question for them this year. But I think one thing that we've learned in Matt Rule's history of being a head coach over his 8 years is that they are going to lean on whatever they feel like they can lean on. And the pass rush numbers show it. Now, last year at Nebraska is almost kind of a throwaway. But it does back up the point. It does back up the point. Nebraska, now I'll include the sack numbers in here too. Sack plays are pass plays that count as run plays because in college the quarterback run stats go into the deal. If you do not adjust for sacks, Nebraska ran the ball 65% of the time last year.
Whoa.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Like, I know people love to run the ball, but oh my God. That says that something's wrong with your offense.
You knew it
not even Michigan was that high last year. It felt like they ran the ball every play. Because they could. Nebraska wasn't even that successful running the ball. They just had to do it because they were too scared of their quarterbacks throwing it. Sack adjusted, Nebraska ran the ball 60.62% of the time last year.
That's disgusting.
It's too much. You'd like to be closer to 50-50. In each of his first 2 years at Temple, they passed more than they ran. I'm talking sack adjusted here. Over 53% in 2013 at Temple, over almost 55% in 2014 at Temple. And then that number came down and they won games. They won 10 games in 2016 or 15, and they won 10 games in 2016 at Temple. The year they won 11 games at Baylor, they were pretty much split even, 50-50. These are sack adjusted numbers, like I said. So the question, I back to Mitch's kind of hypothesis from yesterday, where does Nebraska's personnel strengths lie this year?
There's some people that are high on the receiver core.
Before we dive headfirst into that, I do want to say this. I am relatively high on the offensive line.
Okay, you are?
I think Nebraska's offensive line will be serviceable, if not greater than serviceable.
Okay. This
year. It'll develop into a line that actually is maybe would border on good this year. I think that's the Matt Rule way. But I think their personnel, given their 5-star quarterback, their wide receivers who have not only produced here, but at other places, guys who have produced here like Jalen Lloyd and Malachi Coleman, guys that have produced in other places like Isaiah Nair, even though he's got the injury gap in his career, and most, I think, chiefly Jonathan Banks, Jamal Banks. Jonathan Banks is the actor of Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad.
That's correct.
So
yes.
Jamal Banks. When you throw those guys in, and there's a couple other guys who I think will produce this year for Nebraska as well, who are either younger or maybe guys like Garcia Castaneda, who we may have forgotten existed at this point. I think there's options there. At running back, it's a lot of I think it's probably like Emmett Johnson. I don't know. Maybe Ramir. But think about Ramir. What do we know Ramir as when he's at his best?
Ramir.
When he was really good, he was a diverse threat for Nebraska. Mm-hmm. It's not like he was ramming the ball between the tackles. He was catching it out of the backfield. They were getting him going in the screen game and things like that. Irvin is probably your best hope at a pounded away type of running back, and his health is just a gigantic question mark. So in the process of getting those guys back coming from injury and feeling good about the way that they're running the ball again, the hypothesis is that Nebraska will actually take to the air. Take flight, Nebraska football. And
let it fly?
Let it fly, if you will. Chuck it around the yard a little bit. at least in the early going this season, as things become to get as things go to get a little bit looser in the run game. Maybe it's a little pass to set up the run. Is that a little much on young Dylon's shoulders? So out of the gate, I don't think so personally. I don't think they'll. I mean, they're never going to be like air raid, but I think Nebraska in their first 3-4 games of the year is probably going to throw more than they run.
Now, let me ask you this.
Ask it.
Is it because that's how they want the offense to perform throughout the season, or the level of competition allows us to maybe work out a few kinks that there might be?
I think it's a little bit of the latter.
Okay.
A little bit of the latter. But remember, to your first question, I genuinely don't think they have an agenda. I don't think they have an agenda. So the question was, is that how they want it to work? I don't think they care, which is a real positive. So it really gets you to the answer of, we are going to play to our strengths. And I feel like their strengths lie in the quarterback room and in the wide receiver room. And you could throw Thomas Fedoni and Nate Borkercher and hell, even Carter Nelson in there as well. Like those guys could be played. Heinrich Harburg, like whatever that role looks like this year. I do not think Nebraska's strengths on offense lie inside like the interior conventional run game, turning around, handing it off to running backs, and going behind your big train of an offensive line. I would rather take my chances with the 5-star quarterback and his good set of wide receivers.
Right. I'm sure I'm not alone in this. I love that you got a head coach and a play caller who's willing to they're not so beholden to what they do.
They've done so many different things. Yeah. I was looking at a couple of their teams last night when I was putting it together at Temple and at Baylor. And I can't remember the one that I was looking at this morning. It was, let me go to Temple 2013 stats. So I could pull this up kind of year by year. So 2013 was Rule's first year. And I think this will tell you some of the story. Running back, rushers, their top rusher ran for 613 yards. Their second leading rusher ran for 533. Those guys were both running backs. And their third leading rusher was their quarterback. Now, they didn't win a lot of games that year. In 2014, they won 6. They got to a bowl game. Their top rusher that year was their quarterback, PJ Walker.
Okay.
In 2015, they jumped up and they won 10 games, and that's when the rush pass ratio kind of evened out a little bit and they ran it more. But look at how they did it. They had a 1,200-yard rusher that year. He played running back.
Oh.
Jahad Thomas.
Oh.
They had a 1,200. Does Nebraska have a 1,200-yard guy? Like, I don't think this is the kind of offense that just creates 1,200-yard guys out of thin air.
Today, I would say absolutely not.
No, that is definitively my answer as well. They had a 1,200-yard guy. Their splits were the same, and they won 10 games in 2000 and what's the next year after that? 2016 at Temple. They won 10 games, and their splits were about the same. They ran it more than they passed it, but they had that same guy ran for under 1,000, and then they had another running back who ran for 900. They had 2 running backs who ran for 900 yards that year, right? So they felt like we have the guys that could actually get it done. That's pretty much a perfect image of how I think, like, in their wildest dreams, even though they're not beholden to one thing, I think that's a pretty good image of how they'd want it. Their quarterback ran for negative 100 yards that year. He only ran with I don't think they want to run their quarterback, but they will. as evidenced by their time at Baylor as well. And keep in mind their the conference that they played in. It's a lot of RPO. It's a lot of like quarterback run game. And their quarterback that year in 2019, when they were really good at Baylor, they won 11 games. Their quarterback was their third leading rusher, and he ran the ball more than anybody on the team. He had more carries than anybody on the team. Now, sack adjusted, he got sacked. Baylor quarterbacks in 2000. This is amazing, by the way. Did you know this? In the 3 years at Baylor, their quarterbacks got sacked 38, 39, and 38 times. That is absurd. That is absurd.
Yeah.
So if you take away the 39, if you take away the almost 40 sacks, Charlie Brewer ran it just as much as their two top running backs, JaMychal Hasty and John Lovett. JaMychal Hasty had a nice career in the NFL. So there's a few things that we can learn that are buried in there. They're not beholden to the scheme. They're not beholden to like what we want to do, how we want it to look.
This is what I do.
This is what I do. So
you
we're
ain't
just
out there
gonna do it.
playing?
I don't think they have an offense, the type of offense that just creates guys, right? They have created guys, but it's not because of the scheme, right? It's because they're good players. That there's a difference there. When we talk about NFL draft guys all the time, what do we talk about? The difference between scheme guys and, real good football players. And so I think I'm curious this year, and my prediction, my hypothesis is we really find this out. We find the answer to this question when it's like 3rd and 3. Nebraska needs a first down real bad.
Okay.
What did Scott Frost do every time when it was 3rd and 3 and they needed a first down real bad?
A way too complicated play.
Well, that was one of the options. I think option A was Adrian Martinez, go out of the shotgun and run forward.
Yes.
And see if you can get a first down. My hypothesis for this year is that Nebraska's best option in a play where they really need a first down to keep the drive going or need a touchdown in a goal line situation is to give the ball to Dylan Raiola and let him make decisions in the pass game. You saw a lot of that quick screen RPO stuff in the spring game. Remember the little shortstop fling plays?
Oh, yeah.
That's an extension of their run game, and I think that is going to be their bread and butter.
Get ready to speak tight end drag, buddy.
Exactly, because it relies on the quarterback getting the ball out quick and the defense having to react quickly to things. And it takes conversely, it could be an example of Nebraska straying away from the conventional run game, maybe some way because they don't think they can do it that well. But it's also putting the ball in the hands of your quarterback. It's fine. I'm good with it. Now we got some reaction to this.
Oh.
Ethan writes in on Twitter.
Hi, Ethan.
The Olds will absolutely riot if we start airing it out. It's not like they're going to be bombing the ball down the field every play. I think a lot of what you're going to see the return of for Nebraska for the first time in a while will be very welcome from me is that quick game that I just talked about. Like the screen game, the RPO, get the ball out quick to your get ready to learn tight end drag, buddy. Yeah, I like that. Joel writes in, he says,
hi, Joel.
Play to your strengths and give yourselves the best chance to win instead of expecting the conference to adjust to you. What a silly idea. Yeah, it'll never work.
Never.
It'll never work. Text from the 402.
Hi, 402.
60% of the time. It works every time. Nice. Nebraska's not going to do nothing 60% of the time this year. I hope not.
They better not.
I hope not. I hope they're not forced. Because if it's forced one way or the other, it's in the air.
Right.
Like,
right.
I hope they don't have to pass it 60% of the time to win games this year.
I hope the running game is good enough to where they don't have to abandon it.
Yes. Yes. And that's it. I think they'll skew more pass, but it won't be more than like 55% this year. Greg in Myrtle Beach chimes in.
Hello, Greg.
The Carolina Huskers listen to middle school rule preach run game while going 11-27 with Christian McCaffrey. Panthers.
Oh, does Matt Rule know Christian McCaffrey?
The Panthers ran it extremely well under Steve Wilkes after Canning rule.
And then
they even had McCaffrey. That's an example of the opposite of what Matt Rule had been through. What did I just make the case of?
Mm-hmm.
I said the guy has done a pretty good job of adjusting to his personnel. Maybe they had the wrong idea with McCaffrey, or they tried to do too complicated stuff with McCaffrey. I'll take Greg and Myrtle Beach's word for it because I didn't watch the Panthers.
Whoa, that's your team.
Sorry, I missed them during that time.
Theo chimes in on YouTube.
Hi, Theo on YouTube.
Saddy's calling plays, fellas. Have to go there.
Have to go where? Where do we have
you got to factor that into your calculations of run versus pass.
I also predict that Marcus Satterfield will, if he wanted to, will be able to take a gigantic victory lap around the Satterfield hater club this year. You know what's going to make him look a lot better?
A 5-star quarterback?
Well, that's the high end of it.
Okay.
The good part
a quarterback
initially is
can catch a shotgun snap.
That's it, Josh. Once again, it gives you a really good idea of how handcuffed they were last year. They ran the ball 65% of the time. You can't live that way. I would imagine that no team in the country outside of the service academies did that big of a number last year. I haven't done the research on that. I don't know. I don't have that kind of information. I bet if somebody did, they would tell us that no other team outside of the service academies ran it that much at that high of a rate. Nebraska was forced to. And they couldn't even do it that well when they did. They found a little bit of a quirk with the option deal in the midseason when they won those 4 games in a row. But they found they had some fun with that and it worked.
You remember that?
Yeah. It was great. And then they were in these really close games and they were forced to make plays in other ways and didn't have the weapons necessary to do so because their quarterback was bad.
Oh, wow. I actually was able to find this really quick.
Who had run pass ratio leader last year?
The worst means they would throw the ball the least. Air Force, followed by Army.
Service Academy.
Followed by Navy.
Service Academy.
Right, coming in at number 130, Liberty.
Well, not Service Academy, but not a surprise. Triple option.
129, Jacksonville State.
Also triple option-y. I mean, Rich Rod, a lot of RPO run quarterback stuff. Logan Smothers was their quarterback.
128, West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, now that West Virginia is going to save Nebraska's butt here. 127, Nebraska.
So I was one school off, basically. How high is Michigan, by the way?
Ooh, good question.
I did the quick math this morning. They were right around 60%.
117, 10 spots ahead of Nebraska.
See, that's the only team in the country out of that group that were bottom third that were any good.
Alabama's 120, actually.
They didn't trust their quarterback.
Right. Kansas 122. Their quarterback was hurt a lot of the year.
I bet Ohio State was probably pretty high too. And they got to that point.
Iowa 103, if you're wondering.
Yeah.
There's regular Ohio.
Hey, John Schreiner's here on Twitter anyway.
Hi, John.
He says,
H.
Totally agree on Satterfield. Hating Sat is just Nebraska fans doing Nebraska fan things. Name the last Nebraska OC that fans loved outside of the moment he was hired. It's very hard. Yeah, we don't like the coordinators. It's just one of the things that we do, I think. One of the things that we do. I think Satterfield will take a nice little victory lap at the end of the year, and because they will have competent quarterback play. So Theo, to answer your question, I'm going to go ahead and give Marcus a pass.
Whoa.
For last year.
Wow. Typical media.
Yeah.
Not holding people accountable.
I know. All right. Did I miss anything when I was on that diatribe? Did any game times come out?
No game times came out. Bobby Witt Jr. hit an RBI double.
Oh, right in my peripheral vision. Yeah. I got to get that TV moved. All right, back with more. We'll get some reaction from you guys and a few more things next on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. JTech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. JTech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, JTech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find JTech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the second year, the Nebraska Lottery's NASCAR Powerball Playoff promotion has roared into our state, and the excitement is throttling up. Until June 24th, buy a Powerball ticket with Power Play and Double Play. Enter the voucher number, and you could be one of 15 Nebraska winners of $1,000 and the chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship weekend, plus a shot at $1 million. Enter today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Hey, you hear that? That's the sound of loose change in your pocket reminding you to buy a 99-cent medium fountain drink from Casey's. So the next time you hear this, you already know where to go. 99-cent medium fountain drinks. It's not crazy. It's Casey's.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to speak? Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make languages fun and engaging. You might even forget you're learning. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. Babbel teaches language skills you'll actually use, about travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are voiced by real native speakers, you'll get pronunciation just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Get Babbel. It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
You know, sometimes I feel bad for Jeff Sims. It's kind of been open season on Jeff. And he's kind of, I don't know, he's kind of been the bad man. He's kind of been the guy that's been responsible for all of the problems. It's mildly fair.
Some might say he brought it on himself, Connor.
It's mildly fair. We should just say quarterback play in general. Nebraska, because it wasn't all Jeff Sims.
Right.
Nebraska
He didn't play
quarterbacks.
a lot of the time.
Nebraska, as a team, turned the ball over 31 times last year, and I think like 25 of them were directly the quarterback, something like that. It was out of control. Not all of those were Jeff Sims, by the way. But we still get this YouTube comment. From Star Wars Fiend, a trio of them, actually, I'd like to read.
Hi, Star Wars Fiend.
I mean, Connor, for a period of time, we had Amigos Fingers Sims with all that taco grease on his hands and poor HH thrown into the fire. And lucky he even did what he did. Also to the question of why do we hate all the coordinators? Star Wars Fiend says that's because every Husker fan over 45 wants Charlie McBride. I don't want Charlie McBride to be the OC, by the way, out there, and that is not happening anymore. I'd rather have Charlie McBride as the defensive coordinator. And then one more on my backing of Jeff Sims yet again. Nope. You're only saying that because you still have a few Sims meals in the freezer.
I think Connor's just a compassionate person because earlier this week that looks like a donger, by the way.
MJ
Angel Hernandez deserves don't you ever feel bad for a man who's terrible at his job?
It's a fair question.
Once again, Connor asks, don't you feel terrible for a man, Jeff Sims,
don't you feel bad
who's
for a man?
terrible at his job?
From the text line.
4-0 Royals, by the way.
To be fair, Jeff Sims turned the ball over in only 11 of his 26 possessions.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me get the drive chart out. Is that true?
It's close to that. We've done this before.
I'd actually like to make a quick correction.
12 of 26?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say 12 sounded like the number. Yeah. Shows what you know.
So maybe only 5 out of the 6 fumbles were his fault. Because there were 6 picks, there were 6 fumbles, and I think 5 out of the 6 fumbles were directly him. So maybe that number is correct.
Inflated turnover numbers.
Harburg was the chief surgeon of 84 drives and only killed the patient 13 times.
It's a great percentage.
Is that a bit of a gruesome analogy?
Well, I mean,
if you're a chief surgeon and you do 26 surgeries and 12 of them end in the patient dying, is that good?
No.
I agree. How about 13 for 84? Now, whether they were directly your fault or not, 13 out of 84, you're the chief surgeon. I'm going to say also not good. That was Heinrich. How about Chubba? 4 out of 25. 4 out of 25. Chubba only threw 3 picks. But Chubba did the thing where you know, they were about to wean the patient off of anesthesia. And then something went awry. Some bad throws late in games. Anyway, we don't have to do revisionist history on that. That's all the more reason why I'm giving Mr. Satterfield a benefit of the doubt coming off of 2023. John emails in.
Hi, John.
Satterfield will not be running any victory laps. We need to hope that he isn't bad enough that Raiola realizes he needs to leave and go somewhere else. Remember, a lot of people thought Sims could change and be a good quarterback. Most of the time, people are what they are. Well, if we go by the same logic, people are what they are, then Dylan Raiola is going to be pretty okay, isn't he?
Pretty good. Okay.
Be pretty good. Anyway, here's a tweet from Adam Rittenberg. We're still a half hour away from big schedule release 2024.
And what follows is big schedule overreaction.
That's true.
On 1620 The Zone.
So we'll make sure we'll be right. We'll be back right at 1:30. Rittenberg, there is a mock-up, a conceptual image, if you will, of Northwestern's fun new temporary lakeside football stadium.
I have seen this.
What do you think, Josh? Want to throw it up there on the the Streamazoid?
If you could,
I'll talk through it real quick.
Yeah.
Northwestern is sending a conceptual image of its temporary lakeside football stadium, which will host games in both the 2024 and 2025 seasons. It's sending this image out to season ticket holders today. This image shows general concepts behind the facility, which is designed and built by In Production. What you're seeing is on the lake side of the field, so the eastern side of the field, basically the grandstands equivalent to Buell Stadium. And I'm talking the visitor side of Buell Stadium.
It is now up on Zone TV.
It's just a grandstand. The north side, I think, of the new football stadium is just a bigger, looks like a slice of cheese. just a nice big north grandstand.
Triangular block of seats.
The south side is the same, but it has an awning over it.
Mm-hmm.
And the home side, which I assume will be the press box side, the press level side, looks like, you guessed it, a high school press box.
Yeah.
Looks good, Northwestern. This is a Big Ten team, by the way.
2 seasons of this.
Josh, they're going to make.
Is that a practice field behind the?
They're going to get they're going to get $80 million from the Big Ten this year. The school that plays there. This is why you'd like to avoid at all costs building a new football stadium entirely, so you're not displaced for 2 years and have to play in a practice field of garbage town. Which is why I would encourage people to, if your stadium is maybe rapidly deteriorating, just probably take the precautionary steps to fix it and make it better. That would just be my advice, generally.
To anyone in particular who
Anybody
might be listening? Okay.
Anybody in particular.
Sure.
Whoever wants to take that advice. I'd say do everything you can to not build a new stadium.
Don't displace yourself.
Yeah. Fix the one you have.
Especially if you have nowhere to go.
Yeah. Yep. Just be careful. Be careful. That's all. Be careful, Mr. Yogurt. All right. We'll come back. We still have got that other piece of John Cook's contract that we could look into. Also, we'll get you caught up on all the TV times that have been leaked out for today. Remember, Nebraska is going to play at nighttime. Sleepy time on Black Friday this year.
Hell yeah.
We still have probably 20 minutes of meat left on the bone on the Baby Gronk conversation.
Oh, sure.
We could get to that.
Leftovers with your neighbors. Nebraska, Iowa, Black Friday.
Sounds like Josh just made the commercial already. 1 o'clock hour next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning.
Host Coffee Services stands as the vibrant heart of every break room, offering the unique fusion of traditional quality and modern flair. We're not just your coffee provider, we're the center of memorable workplace moments. Call us today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee Services is always roasting something good for you.
My taco pie is really something special, and it can't be imitated. It starts with my zesty taco sauce, seasoned beef, onions, lettuce, tomatoes, mounds of cheddar, and mozzarella cheese. This pie is the real deal. For a limited time, build your own feast with the specialty pizza, like my taco pie, a one-topping pizza, and cinnamon monkey bread. Do yourself a favor and order. Today, Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball, proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
The Storm Chasers are on the road and take on Indianapolis tonight. First pitch is scheduled for 5:35. You can hear all the action on your home for the Storm Chasers 1290 Coil.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-445-6363. That's 1-800-445-6363. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-445-6363. That's 1-800-445-6363.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We don't always realize just how much our negative thoughts and experiences stick with us and weigh us down. You may find your brain constantly running through a highlight reel of bad moments. That comment your friend made last week that hurt your feelings, that frustrating thing your mom does, or that silly thing you said in a meeting. Maybe it's time to get it all off your chest. Whether it's a tiny annoyance or something much bigger, talking about it can give you some relief and lead you to a potential solution. That's where therapy comes in. It's a safe space to share whatever's weighing you down and learn to process it so your internal highlight reel can focus on the good stuff. And BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy on a schedule that works for you. Connect with a licensed therapist by text, phone, or video call. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Let it out with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/ABC Radio today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ABC Radio.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Iris Council Bluff presents Black Pumas Thursday, June 20th at Stir Cove. Get tickets and check out the full entertainment lineup at stircove.com. Stir Cove is an all-ages venue.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
All right, so we brought you the horse part of John Cook's contract earlier.
What a sentence.
It's very interesting. I mean, he said, I don't need this retention bonus, but could you work something into my contract so I could buy a new horse? And they were like, Mr. Yogurt was like, hell yeah, man, we got you.
Can you pay me in horse? No, but...
Where is Nikola Jokic?
They should talk those two.
Seriously. I mean, Nikola Jokic is going to catch wind of this, and he's going to be like,
you pay me in horse?
You can pay me in horse? I would like to go to Nebraska. Seriously, somebody needs to tell him about this. So we brought you that part of the contract earlier. Amy just yesterday had some of the other language that's in the contract. Here's a section. If Mr. Cook terminates his employment as the head coach, not to be confused with Mr. Yogurt, Mr. Cook terminates employment as head coach of the program prior to January 31st, 2029. So this is through the 28 season, and accepts employment as a coach with a member school of the NCAA or successor organization, then he owes, X amount of money, whatever it is. But I like that. Lawyers are strapping up their boots and getting ready to go for the death of the NCAA.
Let's prepare for the possibility.
Just want to protect ourselves at all costs. Just want to protect ourselves. I mean, by the time John Cook's contract expires at the end of the 2028 season, will the NCAA exist anymore?
What year? 2020
through the year 2028, through the calendar year 2028.
Gosh, 4 years seems like a long time when we're talking about something like that.
Think about 4 years ago. 4 years ago, right now, we were sitting at home waiting for the first episode of The Last Dance to drop.
That's right, we were.
We were on pins and needles about that thing.
Can they move that up a couple of weeks? It's done. Just air it. Just start airing it.
We were going on walks for 7 miles a day. That feels like it was decades ago.
Stanford was firmly placed in Pac-12 country.
A lot has changed.
Gosh.
A lot has changed.
I feel like that's about as much time as left, right? Like
exactly 4 years.
If you asked me 5 years or 10 years, I would go, oh yeah, the NCAA would be dead by then.
I would
in football. I think that's the only sport that they'd be like, yeah, we don't need the NCAA.
I'd be willing to bet that it probably has a much different look to it, and it's not called the NCAA by the time we get to that point. But that's where the successor organization comes into play.
If they're writing it into contracts, then not that they know something's imminent.
It's just a nice little safety net. That's all.
Yeah.
It's certainly more imminent than it's ever been.
Right.
Speaking of John Cook came up again yesterday a lot. Did you happen to see Sam McEwen's tweet yesterday afternoon? It said, given resources, tradition, recruiting base, financial investment, etc., which Division I head coach in this state, so we're talking about Nebraska, Creighton, UNL, has the highest WAR, wins above the replacement?
What a great summer question.
What a great question. Incredible question. And John Cook came up a lot there yesterday. But is John Cook a top 3 WAR coach in this state? There's almost no way to tell. There's almost no way to tell. Nebraska volleyball gets the best investment out of any volleyball program in the country. They have the resources that are just as good as, if not better, than anybody else in the country. They have the best fan base in the country, and they get the best talent in the country, bar none on all of them. They are check. They are the best program in the country.
It's a little turnkey in that aspect, but you still got to go out there and play the games and coach the games and put in the work.
Of course. And the program that he took over when he took over that program was running pretty good. Running pretty good. Terry Pettit had it going. So it's almost like I almost feel bad for John Cook, because while he has such high expectations, like it's almost difficult to make the case for him as a top 3 WAR coach because of the resources that he has at his fingertips. Frankly,
I still don't know if there's 2 better.
It's almost, yes, and I agree, by the way. He's one of the best dudes, but the wins above replacement thing is really just hard to calculate for him. I think actually the wins above replacement thing is really hard to calculate for all of the major coaches at Nebraska. The Olympic coaches are a little bit different. All of the major coaches at Nebraska, so Rule and Hoiberg and
football, you just don't play enough games.
And probably Cook, and then probably not so much Bolt. Probably you keep Bolt out of that. But like it's hard to calculate for the major coaches at Nebraska because of the resources that they get to run their program. Maybe I'm just talking about Rule and Cook, because like Rule is going to get whatever he asks for, right?
Right.
Now, if we go through another 3 years and he's responsible for getting this thing back off the ground and does something that none of the past 3 coaches could do, then you have a much better answer to this question. Part of the question with him is it's still early. But Cook, like I said, the case against him is that they are the Alabama of college volleyball, and if they fall behind in any one of those categories that I just mentioned, resources, facilities, fan base, which they won't, and they don't plan on doing anytime soon, they'll catch up because they'll put more money into it. Nebraska is one of the lone schools in the country that cares about volleyball to that level, but chicken or the egg situation, they have the wins to back it up.
A little bit like a UConn women's basketball or a Tennessee women's basketball, where well, we cared about this first, so we were,
and we are gung ho on staying on top.
Yeah,
like we're going to stay on top. But like, what would I found that the simplest way to do the question is like, you have to define what a replacement level coach is first.
Yeah.
So if you just
this is a great question.
If you put a replacement level coach in at Nebraska volleyball, maybe they don't win national championships, or maybe they win 1 out of every 5 years or something like that. But could Nebraska volleyball still win if they had a replacement level coach, at least in the immediate aftermath of Cook not being there anymore? My answer is yes. My answer is yes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to minimize John Cook at all.
No.
I don't want to minimize John Cook at all. His job is not easy.
That's a testament to what he built. It had a solid foundation, and he got to, build the high rise, but it will still be nice after he leaves
in the
for a little
immediate
bit.
aftermath of him leaving. Now, if Nebraska, if and when he leaves, and then the 5 years after that are just so, maybe they make a couple Sweet 16s, but they've clearly taken a step down, then the program decides, yeah, we probably don't have to invest as much money in this anymore. Then that's the answer.
We call that a Larry Coker.
Nice. Good one. Mustache Adam writes in.
Hi, Mustache.
So I wanted to talk about this, but I don't, I am not ready to rule. I'm not ready to, not Matt ruled. I'm not ready to make a determination on this.
Oh, okay.
I think there are some favorites, but it's a really complicated question, and I think you have to have a lot of other variables that get answered before you answer the question.
Gotta be careful.
What is the level of investment into each of these programs, and what do their fan bases look like, and what do their histories look like? But Mustache Adam writes in. He says the only other war equivalent in the state to Cook is Mac. Greg McDermott. And he's probably lower than Cook. I don't have a problem if you do put John Cook number one, but I just think the case against him is it's not his fault. The case against him is just easy to make.
Here's
the case against Nebraska volleyball is easy to make.
It's not apples to apples, but it's as close as we can get in real time. John Cook retirement rumors. How scared were you for the program versus Ohio State's going to hire Greg McDermott? How scared were you? Now, I understand there's a lot of people listening going, oh, I don't care if Ohio State hires Creighton's head coach. I don't care about Creighton. But, play the game with me.
I would be interested to see what Nebraska would do. My immediate reaction is they go out and they try to hire the best coach in the country that's not John Cook, right? Would that person take that job? Then you get part of your answer right there. And maybe it's no, because they have a good situation right now. Like Nebraska would try to do what Alabama did in football. They would go hire volleyball's Kalen DeBoer.
But
right?
Hey, Danny Busboom Kelly, would you like to come back home and replace John Cook? You got a good thing up and running there at Louisville, but it's time to come home.
You think that's what they would do?
Her or Jordan Larson, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
but there's still a level of unknown that you can't you don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know if they're going to say yes.
Right. Mac is an easy answer, I think. I think the effect that he has on winning is just it's really, really strong. Not only on a game-to-game X's and O's basis, but the culture of his program and how much every year that program punches above its weight. Every single year.
Mm-hmm.
Lock it in. They are punching up every year. And that's, I think, in essence, what you're looking for. Who else punches up? I think Kirsten Bernthal Booth punches up.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Does Fred Hoiberg punch up? I think there's an argument.
I think he did this year.
There's an argument to be made that they did this year. Yeah.
Now I
don't think there's a gigantic investment into Nebraska basketball from a monetary perspective. Talk about NIL. It's not as strong as 30 other power programs out there in the country. Nebraska doesn't have in basketball what they have in football from an NIL perspective. They have it from a fan support perspective. Do they have it from a university support perspective? That's probably comes after the winning, chicken or the egg. There's probably a case to be made for Fred that he punches up, that he's a positive war guy.
If you wanted to put Cook at number one of the arguments you might use is Coach Booth is successful in this state because John Cook turned it into a volleyball state. And I don't want to use the term leftovers, but grew the game. John Cook grew the game in the state to a point where thousands of girls play volleyball in the state, and there is a lot of homegrown talent for Coach Booth to find. I don't necessarily agree with that argument in lockstep, but if you wanted to put Cook at number one, that might be something you say.
Sure. Yeah, he's responsible for some of that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it takes away from Kirsten, but I think
no, because again, you still got to go out there, you got to play, you got to win the games, you got to put in the work.
Yeah. Flan obviously punches up.
Mm-hmm.
Like
remember that time they beat Iowa?
That is why, like, if you look at Creighton and you look at those three, banner carrying programs, men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball, keep that as long as you can, as long as you possibly can, because the unknown is very scary.
What's the line from Billy Madison? Stay here.
Yeah.
Stay here.
Cherish it. Cherish it.
For the love of God.
Yeah.
Cherish it.
Mike Hurd got mentioned a lot. Softball at UNO. In that conversation yesterday.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I think those are like your, because they won like 4 games 2 years ago, they were a regional finalist this year. So that's pretty awesome. And so that probably is your pool of, some people also mentioned the soccer coach at Nebraska. DeMarita said the soccer coach at Nebraska, John Walker, should get mentioned. I don't know enough about the investment into that program, but they certainly had success last year. They were really good.
And a lot of those programs are programs where if the quote unquote legendary coach walks away, what happens? Like, does anyone care afterwards?
Right.
Like,
right.
Okay. Guess we're not going to do soccer.
So how much is the investment tied to the coach?
Right.
How much is the investment tied to the coach? So like I said, I think it's a really hard question to rule on, but it was a very interesting thought exercise that Sam put out there yesterday. And I was super intrigued. Mostly, I only commented on it and put Mac out there just so I could, just to kind of stir it up, because I wanted to see more responses on it. I just wanted to see more people comment on it.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was such an intriguing question. And one that is, basically impossible to answer. All right, back with more next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But another time, a reminder from our friends from the FanDuel Sportsbook. NBA playoffs underway and nearing their end. But there is still time, plenty of it, for you to get in on the action with the FanDuel Sportsbook. But we would encourage you to do so right now, because new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. So, very simple. Place a bet on a side, on a money line, if you'd like to. Just win a $5 bet, and then you are rewarded with $150 in bonus bets, and then you can spread that money around with whatever you'd like. Take a few liberties if you want to. Take the big underdog, if you please, or a big prop with some nice odds that you can get a nice big payout back on it as well. That's what the FanDuel Sportsbook, which is America's #1 sportsbook. All you have to do is head to FanDuel.com/Happer and get started. That is with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
This is something that I've been very cognizant of living in Omaha, because I think Nebraska athletics, whether it be trying to gain new ticket holders, new donors, new interest, yes, winning matters, is they need to be better in this town, like more visible.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly cloudy Thursday afternoon with a high today of 78 and southeasterly wind gusts possible up to 25 miles an hour. Spotty to scattered showers and thunderstorms here this afternoon and tonight, a few of which may contain large hail, strong wind gusts, and isolated flash flooding also possible. A low tonight of 60. Scattered thunder showers for your Friday, a high tomorrow of 73. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
No better time than now to focus on your garden or landscape. Come shop Lanaha's Garden Center, filled with the area's best quality plants, flowers, and trees. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanaha Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day. And smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Hey, Brianna, look at you, graduating already.
Yeah, knocked out my gen eds in 2 years at MCC.
And now you're off to
finish my 4-year degree at the university.
That was fast. I'll bet your mom
loves that. We saved thousands in tuition.
Now that's smart.
That's Metropolitan Community College.
Knock out your gen eds in 2 years before transferring to a 4-year university. Get started at mccneb.edu/me. Classes start June 5th.
This is me at MCC.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make languages fun and engaging. You might even forget you're learning. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. Babbel teaches language skills you'll actually use. About travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are voiced by real native speakers, you'll get pronunciation just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Get Babbel. It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
I told you we'd be back at 1:30, and we are back at 1:30.
Give me those sweet, sweet kick times, baby. All those athletic stories that have magically appeared. I don't see any of them yet.
I'm seeing stuff just from various teams. Oh, I got an email.
SEC has released.
Oh, I'm getting emails. I'm getting emails from everywhere.
Big 12.
I'm getting emails.
Colorado State. Prime time on CBS.
All right, time for the fire hose. Okay, so I have the email from Nebraska now.
Okay,
so
yeah. Should probably do that one first.
This is the one we need.
Big kick overreaction here.
Here is what we know or almost know as officially released by the University of Nebraska.
So many scheduled tweets.
Opening week, August 31st against the University of Texas at El Paso. Nebraska will be... Would you like the time or the network first? Which do you care about more?
I actually care about the network for some reason more, but give me the time first.
Nebraska will play at 2:30.
Okay.
That's a very hot time of day.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
That game will be broadcast on Big Fox.
Really? Okay. That's great. Very unexpected.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they had a 2:30 slot, to be honest with you.
They do when they want to, right?
I don't know the rules. I gotta have another conversation with that Mulvihill guy.
I He has not responded to my request.
Sad. We have known that Nebraska on September 7th, when they host Colorado, will play at 6:30 on NBC. September 14th, Nebraska will take on FCS's Missouri Valley's Northern Iowa, former school run by Mr. Yogurt.
Oh, the yogurt revenge game.
That's right. 6:30.
Hello.
BTN.
That's, yeah.
6:30 BTN. Week 4, Nebraska has their conference opener against.
because we knew what week 3 was. Okay.
Well, what? Okay, week 1 UTEP, week 2 Colorado.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Week 3 Northern Iowa.
Okay. I follow.
Week 4 Illinois. Friday night football, 7:00. Friday night's a great night for football. Big Fox. Week 5, Nebraska conference road opener at Purdue. It will be at 11 a.m. The TV network has yet to be determined.
Like a two-week window sort of thing?
Yeah, probably BTN is probably what you're looking at there. Week 5 is Nebraska's homecoming game against Rutgers. That will it will not be a night game. That's what we know about it. It will not be a night game. It will be either 11, 2:30, or 3, depending on the network. Network TBD. Then does Nebraska have a bye after that? Josh, do you have Nebraska's schedule in front of you?
I do have Nebraska's schedule in front of me. They are off on October 12th.
Perfect.
And November 9th, if it matters.
So it does actually. So with that, we know something about every week of the season from what I'm getting here.
Okay.
We know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. We know we have some information on every game. So the Purdue game is 11 o'clock in the morning. The Rutgers game is either morning or afternoon. Flex there. By week the 12th, 19th at Indiana. Well, okay. We don't really know much more about this game. We just know that Nebraska is going to play at Indiana. They're either going to play at 11, 2:30, 3, or 6:30.
Well,
I thought those were the only options, but yeah. So flex. Ohio State on the road. Kind of smells like if Nebraska's good, if they hold up there into the bargain, like if they at least have 5 or 6 wins by this point, that smells like big noon to me.
Yeah.
But it's either going to be 11, 2:30 or 6:30. So it won't be CBS that day. I guess that's what we've learned. No, that's not true. Never mind. 11, 2:30 or 6:30. UCLA is the only one that's TBD.
Okay.
Don't know time. Don't know network. USC. There's another wrinkle in this. So network TBD. The game will not be in the morning. It will either be in the afternoon, the mid-afternoon window, the primetime window, or the after dark window.
Hello.
We don't know that for sure yet. Wisconsin's TBD, and Iowa confirmed official Black Friday, 6:30 p.m.
on
NBC, right after Leicester time.
That's right. Leicester will not be working that day. It'll be that other Tom Yamas.
Yama.
Cyhawk Trophy game, Iowa State at Kinnick, 2:30 on CBS.
Okay.
I have CBS's announced slate in front of me.
Okay, Jay, just keep throwing stuff at people.
Saturday, August 31st, 7:30 Eastern, so 6:30. UCLA at Hawaii.
Okay, I think we knew about that one. That one was leaked this morning.
Notre Dame, Purdue, 2:30 CBS. We knew that. Colorado State at night, 9:14 on CBS. USC at Michigan, 2:30 Saturday CBS. Navy Air Force, October 5th. They got the Service Academy games.
So I actually think I'm trying to think up some takeaways here. I actually think the takeaway is for Nebraska's schedule, how they are like, even though, the majority of their schedule, TBD, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 of their games are still network to be determined. 5 of them we know networks. They have guaranteed already 2 big Fox games and 2 big NBC games and 1 BTN game. I see no Peacock. Now, I don't know if Peacock's announced yet, or NBC has announced Peacock, I suppose. And I see only 1 BTN in the early going, and I see no FS1 yet. So there will inevitably be one of those on the schedule.
Sure.
But Nebraska is, because of the Big Ten's deal with Fox, NBC, and CBS, and their standing as a generally still pretty big brand in the conference, is probably going to play most of their games on network television.
Sure seems that way.
They're going to play most of their games on network TV this year.
Weeks 1 and 2.
They already have 4 out of the 12, so a third of their schedule is already scheduled for network TV.
I like
2 big Fox games and 2 NBC games.
And CBS is going to want some Nebraska in their life.
Yeah,
at some point.
Well, they're going to get some.
BTN quadruple headers week 1 and 2 with a 10 p.m. Central game hosted by Washington and USC respectively in week 1 and week 2.
Who do they play?
Good question.
Garbage Town and
I would assume
Garbage
so.
State. Garbage City and Garbage State.
Weber State.
Weber,
and that's Washington's opening game. USC,
Town?
Utah State.
Oh, Utah State. That's not bad.
Not a terrible game. I mean, can't be picky at 10 o'clock at night, right?
How about the little sneaky, maybe USC after dark situation?
It appears as though BTN is not created a fourth window, but adopted the late window, the Pac-12 after dark, quote unquote.
BTN
window.
is taking the after dark games.
That's what it seems like early on.
Interesting.
I'm sure
Because
ESPN will have some Mountain West games at that time as well.
That's USC's homecoming, and usually they allow the schools to get, like, they can kind of call their shots a little bit that week. There's going to be some collaboration, obviously, with the conference and the TV networks always, but like they usually give some deference to the schools on their homecoming weekends because, I don't know, we talked about homecoming, how stupid it is earlier. It's a little special, I guess. So I wonder if USC will want to play a 7 o'clock game that night. Right? Like, because if they want to play a night game, we're talking about 9 or 10 o'clock. We're talking about 10 o'clock here. If they want to play at 4:30, then they could do that too. That's just 6:30 here. All right. There's your big schedule overreaction. There's plenty more coming out from this, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in the crossover.
Hell yeah.
Back next with the polls. Stay with Watch on 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Are Nebraska craft beers and ciders important to you? Whether you just love Nebraska brewed beers and ciders or you're a full-fledged craft brewery, there are benefits to membership for anyone with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Their sole mission is to foster and help grow the Nebraska-centric brewing community. Become a member today at Nebraska.beer and help advance the craft beer and cider industry in the state of Nebraska. Find out more about the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild at Nebraska.beer.
Let's go on a fishing trip you will be talking about for years. The best walleye fishing trip ever. Join me, Crash Davis. We're going to travel to the walleye capital of the world, September 15th through the 19th aboard a deluxe motor coach. Travel with me to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Pricing includes round-trip motor coach transportation, 4 nights lodging, 3 days of fully guided walleye fishing, and all of our meals. Go fishing with me, Crash. Your best trip ever. Sign up at ballardsresort.com. Ballardsresort.com. And set the hook.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Introducing Modern Real Estate, the game changer in Nebraska's property market. With a competitive 2% commission rate, we're making buying, selling, and investing more affordable and transparent than ever. Our experienced agents blend local expertise with cutting-edge technology to provide top-notch personalized service to all clients. Don't settle for less when you can save big without compromising. Visit modernrealestateco.com and experience the future of real estate today. Modern Real Estate, redefining the way you do real estate.
Is your concrete cracked or uneven? Hey everyone, Coach Greg McDermott here to explain why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. Many people think they need to replace broken concrete, but repairing it provides durable protection and comes at a fraction of the cost. Everlevel provides permanent repair solutions to fix your concrete and protect it against future damage, and it all comes with a long-term transferable warranty. They offer free inspections to walk you through the entire process. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream. 2 locations in the old market right off of Jackson Street and also in Benson right next to Taste of New Orleans. You know, one of the toughest things about the summer is trying to figure out what you're going to do with the kids, right? You got to fill some time. It's a great time to go visit either one of the Ted and Wally's locations. Your kids are going to love getting some ice cream. You're going to love getting out of the house. It is a win-win for both of you. So whether you're going downtown and checking out the old market and getting you some ice cream or going to Benson and getting some Taste of New Orleans, stop by and tell them Severe sent you.
All right, at Happer Show, poll questions on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Had a few good ones today, I think.
Definitely.
Have we lost the art of floats?
Yeah.
79% say yes. Does a Tootsie Roll during a parade just hit better?
Most voted on poll question of the day.
Is it true, though? I guess a Tootsie Roll being caught is better than a Tootsie Roll being like fished for in a bag of candy.
Right.
So maybe that's yes. 74% agree. Should Costner just come back already?
Get over yourself, Big Kev.
76% say yes.
Bring Jewel with you. That's right.
Are we making any more Whalens? I don't think so.
Couldn't be.
83% say no. Does @producer_Josh like cakes and cookies?
Yeah, I do.
Yes. 94% say yes.
Wow.
Do you watch NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt and call it Lester time?
There's only 2 people who voted yes on this one. It's me and my wife.
88% say no.
Sad.
Are the pandas bugged?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they are. 67% say yes. And finally, will Nikola Jokic ask the Nuggets to pay him in horses now that John Cook has set the precedent? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
83% say yes.
Connor, tomorrow is the last day of the month, by the way.
Oh, hello. That sounds like a fun Friday show. Sounds like the show's over already, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Those are the polls, Josh. What are we watching?
We are watching the National Basketball Association Western Conference Finals. Game 5 tonight in Minnesota. Wolves host the Mavericks. 7:30 tip on TNT. Dallas leads 3-1. Hockey, ESPN, 7 o'clock. The Garden hosts the Panthers against the New York Rangers. Series tied 2-2. The last 3 games in that series have gone to overtime, so we'll look to make it 4 in a row there. Royals Twins is on right now. 4-3 Royals lead in the bottom of the 6th. MLB TV free game of the day. A's Rays is on right now. Cubs Brewers is on MLB Network right now. 3-1 Brewers right now, unfortunately, for John Bishop. Astros Mariners, ESPN Plus at 3 o'clock. Braves host the Nationals, looking to get a split with the stinky Nationals at 6 o'clock on MLB Network, followed by Yankees Angels. The WNBA is on Amazon Prime tonight. Fever host the Seattle franchise, which I will not quiz you on, Connor, because I'm sure you know that the Storm play in Seattle.
I might have got there.
6 o'clock start there. The Fever 1-7 this year. The Scripps National Spelling Bee Finals are on Ion tonight at 7 p.m.
I heard the Nebraskan won or advanced
to the semifinals yesterday. Ended up being eliminated yesterday, finishing, I believe, 15th. So you will not see her tonight, unfortunately. Women's College World Series going on in Oklahoma City right now.
They just started, yeah.
UCLA leads Alabama in the 5th, 1-0. After that, it's Duke, Oklahoma, followed by Stanford and number 1 Texas. Okie State and Florida is your nightcap. Times TBD with the weather. And Connor, tonight on ABC at 8 o'clock, it is the season 20 finale of Grey's Anatomy. The doctors juggle overcapacity in the ER as wildfires threaten the city. Meredith makes a consequential split-second decision.
Yeah, who dies tonight?
Someone's going to die.
Someone's dying, for sure. Josh, thanks.
Thank you, Connor.
That's what we're watching tonight. That's the show. If you missed anything, you can find it all at 1620thezone.com. The crossover is next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Connor. What's up? So, you're getting an Auto Express Lane certificate in less than a year?
I need to put my career in the fast lane.
And Jenny, in just 5 months, you earned a veterinary assistant certificate?
It's kind of a pet project.
JC, is that
blood? Yeah, I'll be certified as a phlebotomy tech in just 5 months.
A positive, JC. Earn a career certificate in less than a year. Get started at mccneb.edu/adults. Classes start June 5th.
This is me at MCC.
For the second year, the Nebraska Lottery's NASCAR Powerball Playoff promotion has roared into our state, and the excitement is throttling up. Until June 24th, buy a Powerball ticket with Power Play and Double Play. Enter the voucher number, and you could be one of 15 Nebraska winners of $1,000 and the chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship weekend, plus a shot at $1 million. Enter today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
I'm Ryan Osted. Golf is great because it can be whatever you want it to